Yes? I'm trying to find the Turbo Man doll.
Me too.
Do you have any more in the back? What? I see that one. What did I say?
These guys are looking for a Turbo Man?
A Turbo Man doll, yes.
They're looking for Turbo Man.
Hey, everybody! These two are looking for a Turbo Man!
What's so funny?
Where have you guys been? Turbo Man's only the hottest selling Christmas toy ever. You know what? We got plenty of Turbo Man's looking for a Turbo Man.
Where's your Christmas spirit?
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Jet7780 here. What grinds my gears? With another Gaming Grindhouse. It's Monday! Yes. Yeah, I was talking to the mic with the mute button on, you know. You know how it rolls. It's friggin' Monday. Holy crap. Hit the goddamn horns. It's goddamn Monday. What do you expect? It's one of those days where you're talking to a microphone, the goddamn mute button on. Holy shit. That's what kind of day it is. That's what kind of day it is, everybody. Sorry for the keeping you waiting. But oh, man.
What's up, everybody?
Look at this. I even hear myself here. Look at this. See, it's one of those days. You got audio problems, all this crap that goes on. Holy shit, what are we doing here? So, the Grindhouse door's ajar, as every Monday. So we're waiting for Frogs. Frog will be coming in here a little bit, but I figured talking to that mute button again. We're gonna have a couple of things today. You'll see what's up on the Grinds board. You know, we'll be getting that as we get to the Grinds board. Please hit that like button, hit the share button, and shout out to all the new subscribers. Rodrigo Gamer has subscribed, and we as of this afternoon, I think it was at 7:29, 7:30. Yeah, this is awesome. Just keep on doing what you do, everybody. Shout out King Thresh statement right there. But man, I tell you, oh man, Booster. You're gonna hear a lot of Booster. We have a lot of topics, a lot of things to be talking about. Oh, let's see. I got a message coming in hot off the presses. What's this? Is this gaming news? No, it's not. It's soccer news. Oh damn. Hey, what's up, Tudor? Oh, Tudor. Hey, Nick, what's going on? Joker, the Coup 1985, Monrazzi, Sam, Captain Thug Nasty. Dylan Rafferty, what's up? Playing some 360 Blue Dragon. Ooh, it's going to be a good theme. Today, we're going to go down a little bit of memory lane. So, get your nostalgia hats on. We had a couple of things die today. A couple of things died. And I want to go back and we're going to revisit some of the stuff. The good old days. for all this bullshit that's been going on. Immortal Black, how you doing? Gaming with JR. How you doing? He's playing Crash 4 too. So that's a good transition. Guess what? Gaming Night just came in. What's up? Came in. He saw the Grind's door. He saw it open. The Grindhouse door. He came on in. So anyway, guys. So what I've been doing that Crash 4, man. So I started Crash 4. Yo, it is really good. It's challenging, but I like it a lot. You know, it's really good. I love the dynamic. And I was never a Crash Bandicoot person, dude. I really never played Crash except for the remakes. Like, shame on me. Like I said, I was primarily Nintendo to Xbox, and I had a PlayStation. That was about it. That PlayStation 2, John, that whole era I missed, dude. I was on Xbox Live. Is that what it used to be called? But I was like on Nintendo and all that stuff. So I missed a lot of that stuff. And I came on, like, you know, I got the PlayStation for some GTA, but that was about it. So Crash, I really never played. And, yeah, right, Glenza? Hey, shout out to Glenza. What's up, man? But, yeah, like, I really enjoying the Crash. You know, I like it. And again, so call me naive, call me bitch, whatever you want to call me. But, like, going from the side-scrolling to into the screen, coming out of the screen, I think that's pretty cool. And you could say, yeah, that was in all the Crashes, Grinds. Okay, sorry about that. But I gave an explanation. So I damage controlled my ability not to explain how I liked how the game goes from 3D to side scroller. I don't know if that's new, but and I played a little bit of the remake, but I really do like Crash 4. They did a pretty good job, and it looks great on the next gen PlayStation 5. I'm playing it. What's up, Daniel B? How you doing? And yeah, so like I've been playing that. I picked up also the Sunken City. That shit was on sale for like $15 for the Elite Edition, for the Complete Edition. So I was like, you know, let me try this thing for $12 to $15. That thing was on sale. I haven't tried it yet, but figured, you know, it's on a deep, deep sale. Let me try that thing. Yeah, right, Game Night? I know, it's going to be... We'll get into that thing. And then, the other thing, what I've been playing, let's see what else. I got rid of Immortal Rising Phoenix. That game just did not sit with me. I'm sorry, I just couldn't get into it. Ubisoft really was like a bunch of L's for me this holiday. Like, I know Phoenix was probably the better game. I hated Watch Dogs, got rid of that stuff. Assassin's Creed, I didn't like that either. Got rid of that. And I was like, let me try this Phoenix Rising. And I was playing it, and I was like, they stole that shit from Zelda. Like, I'll just play Zelda. Breath of the Wild. Like, I just couldn't, like, it didn't want to be serious. It wanted to be joking, but I didn't really like the humor in it. I thought they were trying to be funny. I couldn't get into it. And it came off the Pathless, and the Pathless was such an elegant, like, flowing game, and just had some, like, it was just, like, cool. And then trying to have that art style similar to going to the Phoenix Rising game, I just didn't feel it. So, Ubisoft, big L's for me so far. Like, they really, I just feel like they've gone so generic in all their games. Yo, what's up, Blue? How you doing? Like, I just feel like Ubisoft needs a revamp. EA is, like, hanging on by a string with their trash, and Ubisoft is just generic factory. That's right, Dylan. The problem with Ubisoft this year is that they made Ubisoft games. Exactly. They just feel like, you know, template, change skins, go. I applaud them for Phoenix Rising because it was something different, even though they stole the stuff from Zelda. But it's still I just couldn't get into it. And then I did my traditional, as I mentioned before. I got rid of my NHL copy, knowing that the new NHL is going to come out, so I traded that in. And yeah, I got some credit. I got some Crash Bandicoot 4 and some games. But yeah, we're just waiting for those games coming out. The next gen ones. I should get back into Demon Souls. I know I skipped on that. That thing got me shook. The Booster Pop Tarts. Oh snap! Oh shit! We're doing Booster Pop Tarts. And then the other thing, pretty much just just working on my PC and stuff like that. Not playing too much on there, but really, I've really just been playing a lot of Crash Bandicoot and just playing some of that and getting through that. I was going to stream it. So, if you need to find out what the hell happened with that last video, I was going to start streaming the game. I hit broadcast after I had it all set up, and then life happened. Somebody, come on, something happened. I was like, And then I saw my phone, I saw the message, I was like, I'm out. Yo, what's up, Wooly Gamer? How you doing, man? Yeah, and I just canceled the stream. So I had like a 10-second video of that. People thought I was people were like, what the hell is this? So I got to delete that video, but I forgot, I didn't get around to deleting it. So that's what that's about, that Crash 4, because I wanted to do Crash 4 on the PS5, so I will be doing that stream. But also, too, please check out my previous stream, which I did, was the PlayStation Now on the PlayStation 5. And, yo, oh, that's what happened. I forgot. So, you sons of bitches got me hooked on Resistance 3. I was playing Resistance 3 over PlayStation Now. Holy crap. Now we got to hit the sirens. Oh, damn. Because I streamed Resistance 3 on my last stream over PlayStation Now, and I was surprised on how awesome it worked. I was like, you know what? I want to find out where this goes in Resistance 3. So I played another couple of levels. Yeah, I'm going to finish that game. I'm going to go through Resistance 3. The guns are friggin' awesome. So, yeah, I was playing Resistance 3. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And, it's a testament of how PlayStation Now has improved over the time. Like, I'm not no fan of streaming games, but, dude, if you're going to stream games, stream them to the TV on things that I can't really play right now, and that's good. Better than playing on a 5-inch screen at Starbucks and with my controller. Like, that's streaming bullshit. Really, I know, Dylan, it's pretty damn good, the story. So that's why I'm hooked into the story and the visceral combat so far of Resistance 3. So yeah, the only problem is that the only way I could stream it though is I got to hook it up to my computer. So maybe I'll do some of the stream hooking up to here, because I did a lot of it, you saw from the last stream, and I got hooked into it playing it. So but yeah, shout out, and I tell you, PlayStation Now's on sale too. So please go check out that video, watch how it works. PlayStation Now. Look at the amount of games that are in there and how many games are actually downloadable, which is like over 400 games, and another 400 games are only streamable because they come from the PlayStation 3. But yeah, so I hope basically they do have something with Resistance 3. Oh, excuse me. Oh, Resistance. Yeah, they don't have Resistance 2. They don't have Resistance 2 in there, only Resistance 3, but I'm enjoying it. So yeah, guys, hit that like button. We're going, and then that I meant to say that because I'm gonna probably stream it on this channel. But yeah, it is really, really good. What's up, Wooly? Shout out to Wooly. Yeah, he had a debate on Zair's channel. With that Xbox debate against some infamous guy. That wasn't infamous, man. Man, it was grinding my gears listening to that show. I was like in that thing, but my goodness, like I got just about 100,000 gamer score, and that doesn't mean that I'm no pro player, but like I just don't understand how you are really loving everything Xbox does and defending it when you claim that you don't play games, like you don't play on it. I don't know where that love comes from. Like, your love and your enthusiasm should come from your experiences. So I don't know how that happens. Like, that's why when I say things, boosters and all this other stuff, like, it comes from the heart, man, because it hurts. And you'll hear when we go to nostalgia lane, dude, it hurts because, like, seeing the transition, it's tough. Knowing what marketing was fed to me and what I went through, and now watching Phil Ness spin this whole thing around and turn it into something that we don't even know what kind of future it's going to be. And while that's happening, the content is not coming out. Back then when they were losing or whatever the hell they were doing, we were getting great games. What's up, Shadow? How you doing? Like, we were getting games. I didn't give a shit about other things when I was playing Gears 3. I didn't care. It's up to Floyd. So, like, when I say, this whole thing, like, it's just like, if they're going to figure that shit out, don't figure it out at our expense when we're here, like, hey, play all these 20 old-ass Bethesda games while we figure it out. That's why I appreciate what Sony has done. Like, I'm playing Miles Morales, Demon's Souls. I'm playing new games that are coming out. Returnal. Like, you have a lineup coming out into the summer. I talk about it all the time. Returnal, Ratchet, and then what goes on from there. Even Kenna. When these games are coming out, they got a lineup, dude. Oh, and I could jump into Resistance 3 at the same time. But if you would just give me Resistance 3 saying, hold the phone, well, I kind of figure out studios from scratch and get them new computers and build them new offices. Like, that don't fly, man. Especially if you're trying to charge me $500 and charge me services while you guys figure it out. And you're just trying to pacify time, making me play old stuff while where's the new stuff? That's the problem. That's what the limbo is of Xbox. Not that they don't have a bright future. They might. But the challenge is that we're in the waiting game right now. And while they try to pivot and figure this stuff out, and the competition's not. The competition is moving, adjusting, changing things around, and launching new products, and at the same time delivering content. For a company that believed in next generations with new controls, new stuff, they're the ones still providing new content and showing VR stuff, which that's why I forgot to put on the thing, Grindboard. Shit, I forgot to put that on there, my VR. But anyway, it comes from the passion of playing games. And I just don't understand how, if you just like, oh, no, I don't play games, but this is amazing. Xbox is doing a great job. Like, I don't know, but it was grinding my gears. But shout out to Wooly, and I'd soon go check that thing out. Who knows? You might find my ass on that thing because I'm going to be dropping grinds bottoms on people because I'm going to tell you, I'm not no PlayStation fanboy. I'm a disgruntled Xbox owner that has seen great games. And you can't argue with great games and great things. So that's where the money goes. Money goes to what I think is worth it. And again, it's my opinion. People got different ones. But right now, I don't think the money's worth it right now. They're in a wait and see right now. But with that, we're going to go into the grinds board. Let's go. I'm ready to talk. As you know, I got my beer. I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to do the grinds board. So whoever comes in, jump right in when you come in. Hello, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Let's go to the grinds board. Let's see what made it today. And I already forgot one thing. God damn it. So we're going to do this right now. Where is it? Hit me with the horns. 20. Yo, here we are. Yeah, Dylan Rafferty said, Ryan Landis says, he says, welcome to Xbox. Don't touch the walls. The paint's still wet. Yeah. Dylan Rafferty says he has about 7,500 in Gamerscore, and if you had an Xbox for 4 months. I know. Dude, I don't get it. I don't get it, man. Like, I'm not no achievement hunter. I'm not no trophy hunter. Hell, I don't even have a lot of trophies, but I got 700 games, and I got like 307. I have like 300 trophies. Like, my score is 300 because I play a lot of games, dude. The value. Well, go watch my PlayStation Now video, and we could talk about value because and that was the reason why I wanted to show that stuff, because that is facts. $60 or $45 for a year of over 800 games. Well, half of them are streamable, and half of them get downloaded or streamed, and you could play them like and that is like not even half the price of what Game Pass Ultimate is. Game Pass Ultimate's $180. Plus is giving you great games. Now is giving you great games. And then you got EA Play. That's still $120. That's $60 less than the best value in gaming, which, when's the next first-party game that you're going to play? When? Halo? Free-to-play multiplayer? You don't even need Game Pass for that shit. You don't even need Game Pass for that Halo multiplayer, unless they do some bullshit. So what's the next big game? The whole thing is the first-party games in Game Pass. They got 23 goddamn studios. Don't be 23 years before you get some great games from that first party. All right? So all you hear is 23 studios, but it's like, well, what do you got from them? Oh, we got Bleeding Ass, which is done. They didn't even give you a season 2 of that Bleeding Ass. They said Bleeding Ass 1, we don't need a Bleeding Ass 2. And you got Grounded. That's what these studios have output. What the hell is Compulsion Games working on? Some masterpiece. After their first masterpiece, Compulsion Games, what are they working on? Obsidian's making Avowed. Oh, thanks. Was that going to come out when Oblivion comes out and they're going to be the same goddamn game? And the studio that makes open world racing games. Hey, dude, they're going to make Fable. Remember that? Well, the studio that made Fable and Peter Molyneux all took a hike. Who the hell knows what Fable is? Are they doing research, like playing the old-ass Fable games, like in backwards compatibility to know what Fable is? I hope they know what the hell they're doing. Oh, let's build this ragtag group of great veterans. And let's go make Perfect Dark. When you got Rare, who made Perfect Dark, sitting there making a game that they still don't know what to do. It is crazy. So, you know what? Wait and see. Wait and see. Hit that like button. The grinders are going off. Holy shit. The grinders are ahead of me. You know what, the grinders are reading ahead of the grinds board. I'm going on a goddamn explanation. And the grinders are already grinding about the Xbox headset. Holy shit. Exactly. I hope it's worth the wait. And that's the biggest thing. Not only do we not know what these games are going to be, are those games going to be worth the wait? We waited for 10 years. It's 6 years for Halo. I looking at it, I'm like, holy shit, how many years did he make that? It looked like he made that over a weekend. Damn it. Holy crap. But anyway, you guys are reading ahead of me at the grinds board. So the Xbox headset came out. Holy crumb buns. The Xbox headset came out. Yeah. So the reviews came in of the Xbox headset. First of all, I got to give them a good clap, because it took them nearly an entire generation to come out with a goddamn headset after the wired one that had the Phil Spencer dongle on it. Okay? The Xbox $80 wired headset for the Xbox One with the Phil Spencer dongle that plugged into the bottom of your controller, because they did not have a headphone jack in the launch Xbox One controllers. That was the last piece of hardware they made for their headset. After that, they partnered with everybody but your cousin Susan on headsets and would not make a first-party headset. They made a whole bunch of colored controllers, but would not make a wireless headset. And this is coming off of the 360 generation, when they made those cool little headsets that you put in your ear, one ear, where you could chat with your friends. I had a Halo one. I had a Call of Duty one. They were just little Bluetooth ones that go right in your ear, and you could chat with your friends while you're playing. Yeah, those were the 360 days. Well, that left. They made one wired headset with the Phil Spencer dongle on the bottom, and then it took them an entire generation to come out with a wireless headset. Finally, I commend them. Hit that like button, goddammit. Like them for finally coming out with a first-party accessory that wasn't a controller. So, the headset's out. The thing is that it is apparently, I gotta say, for $100 on paper, having Bluetooth and having the wireless connection to the Xbox is awesome for $100, because the Sony PlayStation ones don't have Bluetooth in them, and Bluetooth is really cool to have that. Yes, I know, but the Dolby Atmos. I'll get into that. So the headset reviewed pretty well. It has the cool cup turning things. They have those on my Lucid Sounds, the Lucid Sound LS40s. That's somebody who Xbox partnered with. The LS40s have that. They used to make Triton headsets. They're really good, actually. The Lucid Sounds are really good. Not much, Neil. Not much, Neil. We just talked about what I was playing and things like that. But we're number one. We're number one, Xbox headset. Don't worry. Everybody's jumping around. Everybody going wild in the chat. All the grinders, they know it's Monday. They know I was talking into a muted microphone for about 3 minutes in the beginning.
Relax. You've been erased.
But I'm back. Here we go. So the review, he just got started. Oh, shit. So the reviews came in with the Xbox headset. It has the mute and stuff like that on the side where you turn the dial. And I said, having Bluetooth is really good. The one issue, though, I found that's omitted, which is in the actual PlayStation one, is that it doesn't have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack in it, which is kind of shitty, because, like, if you were going to use this, like, as they say, across all Xbox platforms, which is PC, Xbox, and
I'm trying to use the phone!
the Android. That's why the Bluetooth's in there. But if you're going to use this on PC, not many gaming headsets are going to... He's cracking me up. Not many headsets you would use on your computer for gaming with Bluetooth. A lot of them are either low latency USB dongles or just connected directly into there. So it is kind of an omission if you were going to use these as an Xbox headset and also as a headset for PC, because it connects to Bluetooth and there is some latency with Bluetooth and playing games. Like usually gaming stuff on PC is not really going through Bluetooth. That's like for listening to music and stuff like that. But it still will work. It'll connect to your PC. Yes, it is. So that's good. But it didn't have a headphone jack where you can just plug it right into your PC and use it like that way. But the thing that everybody's going wild about, was that the sound wasn't that great. They say that the sound was very muffled. Everybody is posting EQ settings because you can go into the EQ settings for the Xbox headset. And I know, Dylan, I don't know why they didn't put one in, especially for mobile and PC. I would think they would just put one in, but they just went with Bluetooth. And also, this doesn't have a dongle at all. It just goes directly. It syncs up with your Xbox, which is pretty awesome. You hit the button, and it turns on your Xbox and syncs with it. That's pretty cool. But the sound is not there. I think the design, the fit, from what I read of the reviews and what I watched of the reviews, they say that it's very good, but the sound just sounds very muddy. It doesn't sound that crystal clear, and everybody's talking about EQ settings. Some people complained of static and connection, and you want to know what? This is something I always talk about with headphones because I'm a headphone junkie. Actually, I went back and picked up, I found the Pulse 3Ds. So I got Pulse 3Ds and the 7Ps, and I'm actually revisiting the Pulse 3Ds, comparing them to 7Ps, because I got them both at launch, and I prefer the 7Ps, which I think they're incredible headsets for $150. But actually, when I got the 3D Pulses, at first I was comparing them, and I'm like, I bought so much stuff, and I'm like, I can't have two pairs of headsets. I got to choose one. And I liked the fit of the other ones. Plus, I did like at the time that you could do both sounds, and you could still do them. You could do your phone, and you could also do your gaming audio at the same time. Where on the Pulse, it turns it off. So if you do the 3.5 millimeter jack into a phone or something else, it turns off the wireless. So that's why I stayed with the 7Ps, the Steel Series, which I think are really good, the 7Ps. And I would give those as the best, most versatile one, plus. But the Pulse, I picked them up again. I am for $80. I had a gift card to Target. I found them. Target had 5. Hey, you want to hear how crazy this is? Target had 6 of them on Tuesday. I went back to Target, and I saw them sitting there. I was like, whoa, they got the Pulse 3Ds. Those things are hard to find. You wouldn't believe, I checked the inventory 2 days later. There was 2 left. They sold 4 in 1 day of the Pulse 3Ds. So I was like, I'm going to get one. So I ran out there and I got the last. Actually, when I got there, it was 1 left. I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy crap. So I got the last one. And I've been using them. And I got to tell you, at first, yes, Cub Nancy, yo, totally. And I'm going to tell you here, at first, when you first put those on, definitely the 7Ps are more comfortable because they use the fabric around your ear. I don't know why I'm talking about the PlayStation headsets. We're talking about the Xbox. But I'm just going to, just while you guys are listening, because I see you guys talking about the headsets. They're more comfortable around the ear. They surround your ear. But I tell you, the Pulse, when you put them on, at first, that they're not as soft. But actually, as I kept wearing them, they got softer, and I think I got to break them in a little bit for the cushioning. Because it is soft. I just think that at first it's a little stiff. Plus, they're angled in your ears. And let me tell you, so I went back and I was listening, and I was playing Call of Duty, and then I played, the Sackboy Adventure, right? And I noticed that the 7Ps have have a little bit more bass, a little more bottom heavy, and that rumble. And I think they get a tad louder. But the 3D Pulses actually sound a little clearer. Like they said, there's much more of the high pitch kind of ding, 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 like the dinks around there, the steps. Like I feel like there's a little bit more detailed sound with the 3D pulses. So I would say either one, go with it. If you want more versatility, go with the pulse, with the 7Ps. But the pulses for $100, they feel a little cheaper. Definitely the 7Ps for $50 more, you're getting a steel like band and stuff like that, where the pulses are a little plasticky and they do feel a little cheaper and light. But I tell you, you can't go wrong with either one of them. And another nice thing too is actually, and that's what I wanted to test out. So definitely, stay tuned to this channel because I'm going to do the pulses and I'm going to stream with those because I've been streaming with the 7Ps plugged in. But I'm going to I'm going to stream with the wireless, and hear how that sounds on the stream. Because I was talking to chat and they said it was pretty damn good. Now back to the Xbox ones. So the one thing too about the two of them, exactly for $100, those are steal. If you want to go with having like audio mixed, then go with the 7Ps. But both of them sound incredible, and they both use the what is it, the 3D audio from Sony, their Tempest audio. And I'm going to tell you, going back and forth, because I used this when I had the Xbox, I was doing the Xbox with the sound and stuff like that. And I do have to say, so this is the thing. Xbox, since they introduced Dolby Atmos, this is the big thing that came around this weekend. When Xbox introduced Dolby Atmos, it was an app, just like an app that's in their Windows 10 store. And it's a $15 app, one-time buy, and it enables Dolby Atmos, which basically is just software simulation of stereo sound. It's not adding 7 speakers in your head. It's just software simulation. The same thing with the Tempest audio. It's just software manipulation of sound to give you that kind of sense of not just in one plane in front of you and behind you, but giving you the sense of, yo, what's up, gadget guy? How you doing? But giving you the sense of behind you and above, behind you and below, side and down, side and down, side. So giving you the spatial stuff of ups and downs. That's the real difference there. So I could tell you, playing the PlayStation 5, it's crazy. And I'm going to tell you, Astrobot was made me a believer. And I think I reported this when you guys can go back and listen when they launched. When I was playing Astrobot, there was a part where there was a boulder coming down towards you. And you could hear the boulder in the distance coming to you, and it got so loud, and it passed through my right ear and went down off the waterfall, and you hear it go down. Add that to the rumble trigger, and the rumble going down from the trigger down the handle of the DualSense to the palm of your hand. Feeling the rumble go down with the sound, hearing it go far away, coming past your ear to the right, and then falling off down behind you. You hear it go down. I was like, holy shit, this shit's real. And we actually had some of this with the VR. That's what the box was. It would process 3D audio when you plug the headset in there, and you would definitely hear that spatial sound. Sony got it on point, man. And I've even done that 3D. I got their what is it? The not the real expensive ones, but the $200 ones. The real expensive ones. The 150s or something like that. They have the 360 sound with audio and the scan your ear and all that other stuff. Sony got some 3D sound, man. They know how to do it. And Microsoft has some simulation called Windows Sonic, which is built into your computers. You could go right to your computer, hit on that little audio button, and you could hear spatial sound. And they got Windows Sonic for headphones. And then they got Dolby Access or DTS Sound and Bound. Those are the two that charge $15 for their app. And Windows Sonic is free. It's built-in spatial sound. It's basically like 3D audio, but it's not as effective. I don't think it's as good as. It just adds a little bit more airiness. It takes away a lot of the bottom and puts just kind of like this airiness to it. But you're right, Dylan. The speaker in the PlayStation controller is incredible. My son uses it for chat all the time. It's pretty damn effective. It's really an effective way of communicating. And it actually, what I like though is that I like how they've been using it with so far, people have been using that speaker, and I keep going back and forth. I want to move on to the Xbox headset, but sound is something that I really want to talk about because the things is that the monitor button on the Pulse headset makes you hear yourself. So, and also the 7Ps have that as well. So basically, if you turn it off, you'll hear yourself like kind of muffled. Like I'm talking right now with a headphone half on because I don't want to, just be screaming because I got this muffled on. So it's basically just feedback. So it makes you hear your sound so you don't shout as much. You're right, Sergeant. The Windows Sonic thing is really just kind of like they renamed it. If you remember back in the old Windows, like it would just say like add like spatial sound or something like that. Now they change it Windows Sonic for headphones. It's free. It's included in PC. They added it on to Xbox. Hey, what's up, Jamal? How you doing? And Jedi Johnny 5. How you doing? So like it really Windows Sonic is not. It's all right, but it's nothing like it's just spatial audio. It just kind of like aerates it. It changes it from like stereo to kind of just like spreads it out with like a kind of a reverb or an echo. I don't turn it on at all. So that's what's available on Xbox for free. But if you want Dolby or DTS, you got to buy the app. Now, with the Pulse, with the Rig 800s. On the Xbox One, I think it came with a code to get it for free. So the actual headset came with it. It was a $180 headset. The Plantronics Rig 800s, which they were really good too, very comfortable headsets. They came with the Dolby Access. I was very surprised that Microsoft did not include just the $15 and pay off the Dolby Access. Instead, it's a 6-month trial. And that's where that's all coming from. So in order to get Dolby Access, you need to buy the app for $15, or you need to, or if you got it for free with something else. But that's nice. Dragon Ball FighterZ, nice. You got the Platinum, awesome. But yeah, so that's what the 6-month trial of Dolby Atmos is. So, and it works. It's Dolby Atmos for headphones, and again, it's software, and it's Dolby. But the thing is this is what happens with Xbox's PC and PC's Xbox. The Windows 10 store shared, and they should just roll it into the console, and just have you charge on PC. But basically, you got to buy the app, and the good thing is if you buy the app, it works on both systems. So you buy $15 for Dolby Atmos access, and then you could exactly it's the codec license. So you buy it, and then you'll have it on PC and on Xbox. So shout out to the 63 people watching. Hit that like button. Share it out. We're going to be moving on to topic 2. But yeah, so, the sound on them, and I read IGN's review, and they said that the sound was not as good as the Tempest engine with the audio. Like, it definitely sounds clearer on the Pulses. And the Xbox just kind of failed with the sound. Like, they got the design right. And do we see a motif, guys? I really hate making those motifs, but like, let's hear it. They got the Xbox Series X box. The box, the packaging was great. The console was quiet. But the most important thing about the console was the games, and that was the thing that was lacking at launch. Now they come out with the headset. Design's great. Comfort. Has the cool turn in the audio. Syncs directly with your TV. Yo, Salty, what's up? Syncs directly with your Xbox. Fits nice, comfortable, a little bit more. It doesn't feel as cheap as the Sony Pulses, maybe.
I'm still serious on
Yo, there is Frog. What's up, man? And here comes my punchline. Wait, I'm just going to get my punchline. And then they're lacking in sound. So what? Like, is there a motif, Frog? Shout out to Frog's Gope Gaming. Here he is. Frog came on in with the headset. And Frog, like, the thing is that they came out with the Series X. They hit the hardware on the dock. They got the packaging right. They did everything. But when I said what games they launched with, nothing. The most important thing for a gaming console. Now the most important thing for a headset. I wouldn't care if it looked like 2 friggin' solo cups. But if it had incredible sound, that's great. How did they lack on the sound with a headset? That's the most important thing.
You shouldn't be lacking on sound.
No, you shouldn't. And then on top of that, they got the $15 Dolby Atmos access for surround sound, or if you want to use the Windows Sonic, which Windows Sonic is not good. I turn it off on my PC. the Windows Sonic. It's basically their spatial audio, which is their budget one. Dollar Bill Phil. it's their Goodwill Phil surround sound. But have you heard anybody that had the headsets? I heard a lot of people had some technical issues. I know Smooth, shout out to Smooth. He had to return his. He had some issues with his. And also Notorious Dre, who he does the LTG podcast with on Friday, he returned his. He said it was crackling and popping.
Wow. I hope they weren't rushed. I mean, they didn't come out at launch, so they should have been well formed.
I know, right? But
you would think that.
Yeah, like it seemed like they got they got the design down, but it just didn't have the sound. So like, they said it sounded muffled, and it just it doesn't.
I like the design. I like what I've seen.
Yeah.
It looks nice, but I don't know about the sound quality. Now, can you use them on PlayStation or no? Because I know
no, you can't actually, because they're Bluetooth and they don't use a dongle.
And they don't use a. Do they plug in?
No, that's the one thing I was talking about. They don't have a 3.5 millimeter jack.
No, if they don't have that. Yeah, it'd be pointless for me to buy.
You can't use them on PlayStation. And the thing is I was gonna I'll use them as a gaming for PC, but it's like you really don't use Bluetooth headsets with PC. You usually use a lossless. Usually use plug-in or you use a USB dongle. Like you really don't use Bluetooth for PC gaming. There's latency in that. Usually listen to music. But yeah, I don't. The thing is like, I feel that, and that's the other thing. Like I know, and this is one thing I wanted to say too. Like I remember back when I even bought the Astros that connected directly to the Xbox, Astro the 50s, and they connected directly to the Xbox. They would have so much crackling and interference because this is the thing. And as I'm a headphone junkie, that's why I probably spend so much time on this headphone stuff. But PC gaming and PlayStation work better together with headsets because Sony just works with USB headsets. It just works. Microsoft has proprietary wireless chat, so their headsets have to be certified with Xbox in order to connect to the chat. Otherwise, you have a wireless headset to get you sound through USB, but you can't chat through USB because Microsoft has that proprietary sound with the chat. You will need to plug into the controller to get chat. And that's how we gained for a while until Microsoft started partnering with SteelSeries, with Lucid Sound, so that you could get chat and audio together wirelessly. But the crackle's free, though, no extra charge. You got to pay to remove the crackle. I think it comes with the $15 app. It says no more crackling. But yeah, it's kind of messed up. You sell Dolby Atmos surround sound headphones and pipe up Atmos and then not put the friggin' free app in there. Say you got to pay $15 after 6 months. Like, it's kind of shady. I don't know. I think that they should have just included it, like the Plantronics headset. Frog, I don't know if you're on mute or not. But yeah, the crackle. Snap, crackle, pop. Given to you by Phil, Ness, and Greenie. It just works. It just works. That's the thing. I have so many PC headsets. These Lucid Sounds. I have the Threshes, the Razer Threshes, the Naris that actually have the vibrating headset that makes you friggin' head rock. You'll make your head rock. And then I got the SteelSeries, and I got the Pulse, and then I got the Platinums and the other ones too. But the thing is like they work across both of them, and that's awesome because Sony lets you chat and listen to audio with USB headphones. Microsoft does not. They have to be certified. That's why there's an Xbox branded headphone, because that's how you get true wireless chat. If you buy just like a PC USB one and plug it into an Xbox, you'll get the audio, but you won't be able to talk to anybody because you'll have to plug it into the controller in order to get the chat. Heads up, guys. It's the truth. It's facts, not fanboy shit. That's the truth. You want to talk about it just works with save files? Headphones just work on PC and PlayStation. Trust me, I've tried them all. Anyway, next topic. Frog, I'm glad you're on here for this one. So, making the waves today, we're going to go down memory lane. Flashbacks. We're going to do some flashbacks. So, rumor has it, at the place, I don't know, Frog, he put himself on mute again. I don't know what's going on. The PlayStation 3.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. So, Frog, the next topic is The PlayStation 3, the PS Vita, and the PSP store are closing down in August of this year. What do you think?
I think it's time, but I think Sony needs to have a contingency plan. Meaning like Sony needs to some of the games that we have that are classics. I would have figured they would have said, you know what, let's put some of these games on the PS4 or PS5 for that matter. Like for instance, the Ratchet and Clank. They had like this whole compilation pack, the Resistance pack, the God of War pack. Like take all those games, just put them on a disc and say, here, you can play them. Because you can't play them natively. I think that is a big problem. But I have a PS3, but I know that's not going to be the way that people mostly play. I think people are just going to say, screw it, I'm not going to play anymore, and I'm good. But I honestly do think that it was a good run for what it was. I kind of wish that there was a way to natively play my PS3 games on there. Maybe Sony to figure a way out.
You're right.
PS5. I'm not, I think that backward compatibility is something that's a bonus. It's a perk. It's not the end all be all, but I think it is kind of cool to have something like that natively. So Game Pass, not Game Pass, PlayStation Now, cool. Look, there's so many damn services, so you know what I'm saying. So,
I know. Well, and that's the thing. I do think it's time.
It's a bad thing to close the store. I think it's due time. I mean, look how long they kept the PS2 making games.
Yeah.
For a long time. So Sony is known to just keep service there going.
Well, the thing is like, first I'm talking about the Sony thing. So like the PlayStation 3 is funny because I was playing some PlayStation 3 games through PlayStation Now. Actually, I got kind of hooked on Resistance 3. And it actually worked really well so far. But I think somebody said in the chat about the PS Vita, like thinking that might be a little early. I know that they were still kind of dropping games here and there, but they say about a year and a half ago, like they were done making games for the Vita, like they canceled it. I think it was like last year.
Yeah, they made one more game. There's a couple more games that are still not done.
Yo, Buck. Yeah, so the thing is like I would say so. And Guapzilla said, because this was, I think, was the biggest thing with this. People were like, well, what about the games that I bought? Because I don't think anybody's going there buying new games. People were like, well, what about the games that I purchased? And Guap was saying, here, Guapzilla, shout out to Guapzilla, where is he? Where'd he go? Man, this chat is lit. You guys, Grinders are wound up tonight. There we go. The games you own will still be able to access through your library. The games aren't going anywhere as long as you own them. So they're just shutting down the store to cancel any new purchases. It's really going to be just that you own your games just still function on that. So that's good because I do have a Vita. I bought one a few years ago, used, the OLED one. And I got some physical games, and then, I bought some digital games on that thing. Not too many. Shout out to, PlayStation All-Stars I bought digitally on there. But the thing is like, these stores closing and stuff like that, I just like the first point that you said about having a contingency plan. I think that this is going to be the start of something. I don't think that they're going to abandon this. They already have the PlayStation Now service. I wouldn't be surprised if they really allow us to download PlayStation 3 games or add PSP games maybe to the PlayStation Now service. I don't know. It seems like they're adding more PlayStation 4 and 5 games, so I don't know if they're going to do that. But there might be a contingency plan, or they might just start remaking them and reselling them to us. Who the hell knows?
Right. If they're smart, what they do is, and this is my personal opinion, do some compilation packs like they did on the PS3. Release those Sly Cooper games, and
re-release them.
And if you have them already, re-release them. If you already have them, on your PlayStation account, you can just download them for free. And if you download it digitally, but if not, you can just allow you to put that disc in there. Because I personally think that it'd be easier to say, hey, you can either put the disc in there or download the digital version if you have it. And by the way, if you don't basically have it, you can buy it.
Yeah.
And don't charge a freaking ridiculous premium price to say $29.99. Something that simple.
You're right.
I think that works. I mean, because there's some great PS3 games. Let's not.
Oh yeah.
They could just remake them all, but And if they did that and it's a full overhaul, that's one thing that's totally different. But I don't expect them to do that. I expect them to come with new IPs and say, you know what, here's some things for you guys that, you know, are loyal fans. Come with some fanfare.
Sure.
You know,
Well, I'm sure they'll release remasters, right? But
remaster's not a problem, but it has to be a PS5 remaster. They got to stop with this. Hey, it's coming to PS4 also, and if it is going to come to PS4, it needs to have a significant PS5 patch.
Oh, PS5, yeah.
You know, like I should be seeing like the Sly Cooper trilogy or the Sly Cooper you know, whatever pack, because there's 4 of them, and say Sly Cooper all in 4K, you know, 60 frames, 120 frames, so forth. Because they're old games, you should at least be able to play them. I would say no less than 120 frames. So they should be able to say, you can play it in 4K, 60, 4K, 120. I'm not expecting ray tracing.
Yeah.
Not expecting that. I
wouldn't expect that either.
What I will say is, with Game Pass doing what it's doing, and then the games, I see more and more games coming that are bigger and bigger. And that does interest me in Game Pass more. And that's been a factor with me and Game Pass and Microsoft, is like, if you can get those big games in there day one, I wouldn't mind, you know, saying, okay, well, this is my primary place.
Oh, of course. Well, that's the big pull for that thing. But the thing is like,
if you get those multiplats in there day one, I'll be content playing on Xbox multiplat day one.
Yeah, well, they got to make consistency. They can't be just one-offs. Like, they're gonna have to see what they do. But you know the thing, Frog, too, about the place, about the stores shutting down. I you know, maybe Sony does have a contingency plan, but you know what? I don't. The thing is that's kind of making me think this is that they seem to be, especially with the PlayStation 5, it seems to be more embracing older consoles as well, and the fact that you can filter games by platform. When you go into the store, they say PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4, and even when you go into PlayStation Now, they separate out by platform: PlayStation 2, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 3. So like the thing is like maybe they are trying to kind of make the PlayStation 5 like that console that does house all of Sony's things, like the basically like the one-stop shop. And there were rumors that they might make some games or bring PlayStation 1 games. Like, I don't think Sony's in the business of forgetting about the stuff. Maybe they're in the business of remaking it.
I think they could easily allow you to play your disc PS1 and PS2 games and your PS5 easily. I think they could. I think the PS3 is the hard part, because I easily think they could do that.
But the thing is like, I say this the same thing with Xbox backwards compatibility. It's nice to have, but it's not something that I'm going to put my foot down going, you got to put all of my games that I ever played and games when I was a little lad and had one pubic hair. I want that game on my goddamn console right now as a grown-ass man, because there's nostalgia, there's collectors, there's things for a reason. Like, I just don't. I understand games that you own digitally and you went into that digital ecosystem. It is a bad testament that I bought a game digitally about 8 years ago, and now that game kind of is gone because the service is gone. That's the message that we got to stop, because that doesn't give you confidence that, and I think that's where some of the questioning came. It's like, well, wait a second. Some of the PlayStation and PS Go was all digital. So I bought all this stuff digitally. Is this stuff, like, if you're not going to honor stuff that I did 10 years ago digitally, how can I be confident that 10 years from now, my purchases now that I make digitally, are those going to stay with me? Or am I basically paying until you decide to say no more anymore? So that's where that thing. And Buck Rogers says, yo, what's up, Merc? But that's the thing. Buck says, like, I keep my old game of systems. And you know what? That's the sure deal. Keep your old games and your old systems, and you don't have to worry about service bullshit. But the other thing is that if you're concerned about this digital future, because, and you know, there was a lot of concern, a lot of people out there going, oh, old games, Xbox does it right. Oh, we'll talk about Xbox. Hold on. Kuhn has one pubic hair still. Shout out to Kuhn.
Enough from me. We're going to have the game.
Oh, shit. There we go. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug, as Mooch says. But the thing is that if you go and worry about the digital future, oh, if I buy a game now, is that game going to be for 10 years from now? Well, then I guess you're not a fan of these subscription services, because technically you can't even claim ownership to that shit. If you sign up for a Game Pass, or you sign up for a PlayStation Now and go, oh, my library is here. Well, guess what? Those games leave those services. So if you want that to be your future, well, then I hope you're not a. Then you should be a fan of them shutting down digital stores. You shouldn't be afraid, because if you're gonna want to subscribe to a service where your library is volatile,
you should want them to continue it.
Yes,
right.
Like if you want to talk about ownership, then you shouldn't be really promoting or being capping for a service where your library is volatile. It comes and goes like the wind. It's like, well, this game's in there for 6 weeks. This one's in there for a month. This one's in here for this. Well, then you shouldn't be the one on the internet going like, oh, you're losing all your old games. Wish you bought them digitally. One person's doing it. Well, you want to know what? I saw some people saying Xbox is doing it right. And I got to say, yes, they have something called native gaming. Of course they do. But the thing is everybody's like, well, Microsoft didn't shut down. I could play my OG Xbox games. Grinders, you come here for no bullshit, right? You come here for no bullshit. So let's talk no bullshit right here. Yeah. So let's see what the hell? Here we go. So somebody's like, well, they're shutting down the PlayStation 3 store. I could play 3 generations of Xbox games. That's great. So you can play all your OG. So Microsoft lets you go back to the OG Xbox and play all those digital games? And no. They got a 20. Here they are, 2 pages. They got Blinks 1, but they don't got Blinks 2. So, like, Microsoft Microsoft just gave you just a tip. So, I wouldn't be going like Microsoft is doing this better than Sony. I would say Microsoft's not giving you access to the store. They're giving you access to a few backwards compatible games on Xbox One. They haven't updated this in 2 years. This is it. This is the OG Xbox ones. I want to go play Bloodwake. Oh, I can't go buy that. So they're both kind of shut down their stores. It's just Microsoft is able to kind of do this, which I think this is better than nothing. But this is not full, like Microsoft doesn't shut down their stores. Same thing goes with the 360. Microsoft decided which backwards compatible games you could play. It wasn't full gamut of all. They didn't shut down their 360 store or their Xbox One store, but they just took hand-picked games and they said these are the ones that are backwards compatible. So, people just going like, Xbox, the OG Xbox store wasn't closed. Sony's, no, it was closed. And you want to know what else? The online doesn't work for these games. I put in, so even your ownership of these games, Crimson Skies. I have the physical version of Crimson Skies. Well, yeah, I put it in. Guess what? Online doesn't work. Xbox Live or Xbox Network, we'll talk about that, doesn't work. Multiplayer does not work in these games. So, Frog, like, that's the thing. Like, ownership now, it's like, even if, like, I had some great times with Crimson Skies online. Oh, let's go back and do that. Well, you go play Crimson Skies, but you're going to play the campaign. You're not going to play online. We're at the mercy of these services. So people just need to be like, it is what it is. It's the times. It's the expense of convenience. You want a convenience, having this stuff come to you. Somebody's delivering the stuff. Don't shoot the messenger. These servers can't stay up forever. So you got to know what you're buying into. If you really value ownership and you really don't want anybody to touch that, then you got to go physical. You got to go offline, as they said in Terminator 3. Off the grid. Off the grid. I don't even have Arnold. Arnold, tell them off the grid.
Relax. You've been erased.
Steam shuts down. What about all the digital games in Steam? Gabe Newell says, I'm taking my Doritos and going home. He shuts down Steam. Oh, shit. You better get those download. You better get the offline codes.
Explain to me, if you have Steam, that you can always, no matter what they shut down, you can always download your stuff, which kind of...
I'm sure there's some hack. And you could go offline Steam. You could go offline Steam. But the thing is, you could go offline Steam, but it has to check in. You can't go completely offline.
Yeah, I don't completely...
You can't take your games and run.
With playing offline, I mean, not let me phrase that, download only, but I think the thing is, if you're going to close a store, then it could really, I think people should have an expectation for the store to close after a certain amount of time.
I know, like that's the thing. I'm like,
That-
especially if they're not putting new games in there and stuff like that. But I think, as Guapzilla said, I think the major concern was the people that purchase it. Will I be able to download? And I think you're able to continue to own and and get your games that you purchased. It's just you cannot go buy new games. So they're kind of cutting. You know what they actually did? Actually, that happened currently. Cyberpunk. They basically they killed it. They said it's no longer on the store because they stopped the Civ. That's what they're doing. They're stopping people buying new games on those stores because they probably want to funnel you to the new store. So you'll keep all your old stuff, but stop buying games on that stuff. I saw somebody on Twitter, going, I just bought a PlayStation 3. I almost veered my car off into the ditch. Grinders, and anybody just get a PlayStation 3? Was it one of your asses that put it on Twitter? That one dude that bought a PlayStation 3? I don't know why he's on Twitter because that's some new technology of his ass. Frog, you imagine somebody said I just bought a PlayStation 3?
Nah, I couldn't imagine that.
I was like, this got to be a joke.
Like, in this generation now, it's like, why would you be buying a PS3? I can see if you buy a PS4, I could understand that. At the end of the generation, like say if I only had a PS4 and I bought an Xbox One, okay, whatever. But I can't see myself saying, "Oh, I'm buying a PS3 at the end of this generation." No.
I don't know, man. Somebody was like tweeting out, but no, who is that? Rayful? Oh no, I just said Xbox is doing a great job of preserving old games and making those games better. Like, but it is not. It's not analogous to shutting a store down. They have chosen games that they're allowed to do that. So they're doing a better job with preserving old games. But Sony has also done PS2 games, and they made them 1080p. I actually played that the War of the Monsters. That was a PlayStation 2 game that they brought back. I was showing Ape Escape also. So Sony does do something like that where they made it play natively on the PlayStation 4. But, Microsoft definitely has done a bigger effort in backwards compatibility. And, good for them. Because that's all they have right now that's a good for them. I wish they didn't just do that and did new stuff and that. But, hey. And Chris, hey, what's up, Chris Righteous? He said PS Now was supposed to be a legacy service. Yes, it was supposed to be a way to play your old games. Yeah. So, maybe, who knows? Like, maybe this is a pivot. Like, maybe they're waiting to roll out some sort of like PlayStation legacy. I don't know. But again, like, I'm not holding my breath. It is what it is. Go back and go play some of those OG. I played Crimson Skies and it's nice for about 5 minutes. It's a cute magic trick. But you're no way sitting there looking like going back that far. PlayStation
need to be remade.
Like, I'm enjoying Resistance 3 over PlayStation Now with the PlayStation 3, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, yo,
but what I'm saying is,
I don't need Ratchet.
It will be a better experience than just to say, here's like the game on there. So there is sometimes I kind of wish that they would reboot the franchise per se. Because I think this is a franchise that can be rebooted. So I don't see why they wouldn't reboot it.
Yeah. No, I agree if they reboot stuff, but I think having access to your games that you own digitally, that's definitely a must, especially for confidence in a digital future. Like, if you want me to make everything digital now, then you should show that. And I think that was a statement that Phil Spencer made back when they did backwards compatibility, when he said they were doing it for the 360, saying that, hey, we're going to honor your purchases from the 360 and bring them over to the Xbox One, which I think is a great thing for game preservation. It's great. It's great for game preservation. But again, nostalgia is a hell of a drug. I'm not holding my breath. This is not like the console war is over because somebody does backwards compatibility. It's a nice feature. It's nice to have, but I'm not holding my breath, and I'm not going to say, hey, you know what, Sony? Cancel Ratchet. Cancel Last of Us 3. God of War. Horizon 2. Cancel that shit because I want to go back and play some OG PlayStation 3 games. Show me that giant enemy crab. Holy shit. Show me that giant enemy crab. Show me all that horrible PlayStation 3 lineup that you had at launch. Because I can't wait to see the giant enemy crabs. I can't wait to see the all the bullshit that you had at launch of the PlayStation 3, which I can't remember half the stuff. I just remember it was a joke. Like, no. Give me the gems, remaster them, do whatever you want. Do like what they did with Shadow of Colossus, what they did with Demon Souls. That's awesome. That's value, I think. That's more value, even though you got to pay for it. Rather than playing the old ass Shadow of the Colossus, like I like playing that new version. But hey, talking about old stuff.
The thing is, what I was gonna say is like I wouldn't mind them saying, "Here's your Resistance collection. Here's your God of War collection.
Oh yeah,
here's
yeah.
your Sly Cooper," and because Sony has a lot of franchises they can. But look, think about on the PS3 how many what they did was they were like, "Ooh, a lot of people didn't play these games on the PS2, so we're just gonna redo them in a higher fidelity on the PS3." I think they could take that same approach with some of the PS3 games because they can't natively play them.
That's selling, man. That Kutaragi, he slapped Sony on the ass and went hightail. That dude with his cell processor and all that other stuff, that
cell processor messed them up.
Dude, they messed them up because that's where that PlayStation 3 stuff really, and you know what the thing is too, the 360 really it wasn't as complicated as the cell, but the 360, they did do some great emulation with making that work on the Xbox. And I think Sony should have done something like that because it is pretty wonky. Going to PlayStation Now, and they're really running PlayStation 3s. Like, you could do the cross-media bar and everything on the PlayStation 3. You're playing a real PlayStation 3 over the cloud. Like, it's freaking crazy that those things are still running. Like, they got to look at that stuff and be like, what's the life expectancy of a PlayStation 3 right now? Like, is that thing really just meant to just run all day? Like... It's old hardware. They're not going to remake a PlayStation 3. Like, eventually they're going to have to pull that stuff off, right?
I wouldn't see that's like PS4. I wouldn't see PS4 dying for at least another. I guess honestly, like another.
You're talking PlayStation 3s, Frog. They really got PlayStation 3s running PlayStation Now. For all those PlayStation 3 games that you could stream on PlayStation Now, those are legit PlayStation 3s because you could go, like I said, you go into the cross media bar, even the old interfaces and shit, like the friends list, messages, It all is on there. It's spooky as hell. It's like, you got to look, now 10 years from now, if you're not going to have a PlayStation 3 store, like, are you seriously going to be running PlayStation 3 hardware 10 years from now? Or are you going to try to leapfrog that stuff? See, that's why Microsoft was smart with backwards compatibility, because basically what they did was like, we don't need the 360 hardware, dude. We don't need the 360 hardware because what? Because the Xbox One hardware can run it. So by emulating it, they removed the reliance on old hardware to run the servers. Now they could keep using an S, a Series X, a Series S2, a Series X3, because they did the software emulation. They've removed it from the need of having a 360 running. Sony is still having a PlayStation 3 run those games, the hardware. That's why I think Sony is eventually going to say, just make it work on the PlayStation 5. Like, let everything work natively so that they can remove all that old-ass hardware that's in there. Like, don't you think? Like, I can't think 10 years from now they got PlayStation 3 still running. I don't know. That's what I was thinking. Because, I think it serves Sony's interest, too, if they want to preserve the PlayStation 3s, that they take that PlayStation Now service and make those PlayStation 3 games work on the PlayStation 5. And the thing is if you look at the PlayStation 5, and I know this happened with the Avengers, which I don't have it on here, and I mentioned this on my last stream, that Sony basically has a PlayStation 4 built into the PlayStation 5. That's why you could run two different versions of the games. Basically, it's the PlayStation 4 emulation in the PlayStation 5. So they're basically emulating the 4 with the 5. I know. I know people just go crazy about old games. Like, again, I said that this is not something where I'm like, get rid of my Ratchets, get rid of God of Wars, get rid of Horizons, because I want them to work on bringing me PlayStation 3 games natively or PlayStation 1 games. No, because it's a nice magic trick. I said this before. It's a nice trick. Resistance 3 is wonderful as I'm waiting for Returnal. But if it was just Resistance 3 and I'm like, and then I'll be like, this shit's spooky. But the thing is like, honor the old purchases. Speaking of nostalgia, the next topic, which came not very eloquently, not the send-off that I thought would have happened, but basically they changed. Xbox Live is now the Xbox Network. Frog, what did you think when you saw that?
Wait, what was the question? I'm sorry.
I was telling you. So Xbox Live is renamed now to the Xbox Network. They confirmed it. Xbox Network. Rolls off the tongue real nice.
I think at this point, in my personal opinion, what I think Xbox is doing is good. And I guess, I gave them props when they were like, hey, Outriders is coming. I was like, okay, this is what, I think I said this like a long time ago. I said, anytime that they can start getting games in there that are coming out day one, the same day as they're coming out in the store, that's a big deal. And I think that dream is going to come true. I think that we're going to start getting games day one, and I think that will help them because they can't.
No, the name change. We're number 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. The name change.
Xbox Live has changed to Xbox Network. They confirmed it. So rumors went around when they had a dashboard alpha code.
I don't like that name.
Yeah, everybody's like, well, it's like PlayStation Network. But the thing is that PlayStation Network started as PlayStation Network.
Exactly. Xbox Live is Xbox Live.
I know.
It rings.
I know. I didn't like it. I don't like it. I'm like, Xbox Live was... It's and you know what, Frog? As soon as I saw Xbox Network, that's why I was gonna text you immediately because I was like, it's to the quote. I quote Frog. Frog says this: "There's too much Microsoft in Xbox." Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's immediately the quote that I thought of when I saw that. I was like, dry ass suits with ties and bow ties and friggin'. And what Teslas?
Putting too much of that.
Dry ass. You took the fun out of Xbox Live, the hip Xbox Live, and you turned it into a dry ass network.
Yes, and that's not what Xbox Live. Xbox is about fun.
Yes.
It's about being edgy.
No, it's not.
Cool.
It's not anymore. Now it's business. It's business.
It's all about business.
It's like Vince McMahon. And it's business.
You can't take the guys who run, the freaking Surface department and the guys who run the Windows department and say, hey, you're going to be in charge of Xbox if they don't get it. If they have to get the gamers, they really do. And I don't think they do. I don't think they do for the most part.
Yeah, like they
don't.
So according to The Verge, you want to hear? You want to hear something crazy? You got to hear the quote. That's the thing that got me crazy. Like why they changed it. Well, I'm gonna go Tom Warren at The Verge.
Yeah, I want to know why they changed it. That's such a weird name.
Wait, here's the quote. Here
Xbox
it is. Xbox Network. Hear this. So here's the quote that they said here. So you guys, Grindhouse, can you see it? I'm gonna zoom in here. I need to zoom in so you guys could see. Yeah. So this is what they said. So this is what happened. Like in the update, it said upload to the Xbox Network, and he's like Xbox Network, and this is the name change. So here it is. So this is the quote that they said, right? And tell me if this makes any goddamn sense. Xbox Network refers to the underlying Xbox Online service, which was updated in the Microsoft Services Agreement, says a Microsoft spokesperson in the statement to The Verge. The update from Xbox Live to Xbox Network is intended to distinguish the underlying service from Xbox Live Gold memberships. The update from Xbox...
That doesn't make sense.
The update from Xbox Live to Xbox Network is intended to distinguish the underlying service from Xbox Live Gold memberships.
That doesn't make sense.
Bullshit.
I don't get that. I don't see how that is like.
Put this thing away. This is not worth it.
That doesn't make sense to me. I guess,
So why do they want to distinguish the service from Xbox Live Gold memberships? Wasn't Xbox Live the service that they were going to try to charge double for, $120 a year in February?
Sounds like because we're going to basically, and I think this is all inclusive of, we're just gonna bundle everything together. You won't be. I think you're not gonna be able to buy Xbox Live by itself in a sense, year to year. I think the only way you're gonna be able to get year to year is Game Pass, and I think that's how they're gonna call it. They're gonna say, "Oh, you got to get a Game Pass from now on." I think that's coming. I think that's a push they're gonna.
You're right.
And here's the other thing. Not only are they're gonna do that, I think that no matter what Game Pass is going to, the price is going to go up. Because it will get more successful.
Yes.
Because of the games they're able to get in there day one. They were like, "Whoa, we're getting these freaking AAA games in here," or not necessarily AAA, but let's just say we're getting games in there from companies that are big studios like the Squares and the Eidos and all that. Yeah, we can start charging more. We can get it to be more expensive.
It's just weird because now when you say Xbox Network, the network, how can they still charge for this quote-unquote Xbox Network on one platform but not on the other? That's why when people said that Xbox Live was going away, and instead they doubled down on it, Frog. This is the thing. How are you going to continue to charge people to play online when you don't have Live anymore? Because that's what people are paying for, Xbox Live. But when you say that the Xbox Network now is Xbox Live, well, how do you have it? Imagine having Comcast Network, and it's well, if you own a cable box, you're going to pay us, but if you don't own one, you get the cable for free. And it's well, wait a second, Xbox Network, how do you have PC people, Android people not paying for the network, but you got the Xbox console owners who probably it's if Apple said, "Hey, everybody that owns our product is going to pay more than the people that don't own our product." You should reward the people that own your native product and kind of make the people that
own the native product should be
they have a perk. Exactly.
Yeah, it should be like being an exclusive club.
Exactly. If you own our own product, like our Surface, our Xbox, it should be included. You charge the people that are not on your product because those are the people that you want to get more money from, because guess what? I already gave you money when I bought your hardware, so I should get some sort of perk. But how is the person who buys your hardware also the person that's paying more for your network when the dudes that just pop in off of Steam are not paying for it? A guy on his Android phone at McDonald's is playing with you online. You're paying $60 a year for a premium service experience, and you got some guy using goddamn Starbucks friggin' espresso Wi-Fi playing with you across from a cell phone over a network to your thing. And you go, why is that son of a bitch lagging? The dude's using espresso beans to power his goddamn Wi-Fi.
I personally don't think that,
he's free. Freeloaders.
People that are on there should be the ones you reward.
Yeah, right?
One thing, and this is what may come back, and I was going to say this. What may happen is when Microsoft first started with the Xbox One, they did that 7 family plan and all that. I think that may end up coming back for more expensive price.
But really,
I think that may end up coming back.
This is the thing, and this is where Microsoft is out of touch. I guess. Oh wow! Look at this. I didn't even read on to the next paragraph. Microsoft used Xbox Live to refer to its underlying Xbox service since its original launch 18 years ago. Larry Herb, who's known as Major Nelson, has been known as Xbox Live's Major Nelson for years, but now he refers himself as Xbox's Major Nelson.
He's been Larry Herb's Major Nelson.
He hasn't been Larry Herb's Major Nelson. He's been Xbox Live's Major Nelson, and now he's just Xbox's Major Nelson. Dude, that does not sound good when he's Xbox's Major Nelson.
I don't know. Some of their the ways they deal with things, I don't understand.
Bob's got news for you. You're mine now.
They always take a step
you belong to me.
Take 2 steps back. That's what I kind of feel like.
He should be just called Xbox's bitch. I have no clue. It just sounds horrible. Now he's Xbox's Major Nelson. Even he had to do his change.
Let's call him Xbox gloves.
But I just this is the thing. This is where I say it's disconnected, because this is something that should have been kind of reflected. This should have been a kind of a sending off of a service that people had such great memories with in the name of Xbox Live. And, you know, I'm going to just go back to nostalgia lane, man. When Xbox Live came out, man, they had, you know what? We're going to go back down memory lane. I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you the OG, original Xbox Live commercial. And, like, the thing is, I got my pack that came with the headset. I remember playing MotoGP racing against somebody from Australia with Xbox Live, and I thought it was mad. Man, this was insane. Xbox Live, they even took that branding to the next level. I was an Xbox Live Gold member, and I had a membership card that would give me $5 discounts at Quiznos. And I would take this Xbox Live card that had my gamer tag on it, which was Jez 7. I think it was Jez 77. Jez 77. And I would just take my Xbox Live card, go, hit that like button if you had the Xbox Live membership card. And it gave you perks, like deals at restaurants and stuff. Like almost like those entertainment books. And I would take the card, I would take it to Quiznos every week, and I would get a $5 sandwich. Well, I was like, this shit's awesome. Xbox had perks. Remember when they had Netflix? And Netflix was behind the Xbox Live paywall, and you needed to be an Xbox Live Gold member to do party watching and all that stuff? That was the days of Xbox Live, man. I had my membership card. Let's go see. What is the Xbox? If you don't believe me, I don't know. I think these grinders are a little young. They don't believe me. Let me. You know what, grinders? Hit the like button. I don't think you were. Frog, do you remember the Xbox Live membership card?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you do remember
it.
it. Okay, wait. I'm gonna see if I can find the image of it. It was a membership perk card. What is that? Did anybody remember that? Hold on, we're going down memory lane right here. Where's my perk card? Should I not? Oh my God, where is it? Yo, my Quiznos sandwiches. I gotta find it now. Now I'm mad. Because now it makes me look like a liar. What the? Where is the Xbox Live gamer tag card? Oh my God. The grinders are not even, they think I'm nuts. Look at this. The sons of bitches. They think that. Look at this. They say I'm a true bot and everything. Holy shit. Look at this. These sons of bitches, they're making fun of me on my own show. Holy shit. These grinders are ruthless. That's why I like the grinders. They're ruthless sons of bitches. Hit that like button, you ruthless bastards. Here it is! You son of a bitch! It was called the Diamond Card. You son of a bitches! I told you. I was a Diamond Club member. Holy shit. It came with the ladies. Microsoft sent over the ladies. There we go. I was Xbox's Jez 77. That's what I was. Look at this. You can buy them now. Here it is. I told you, bitches. Here it is. The Xbox Live Diamond Club. Oh, shit. It was translucent. Look, it had translucent on there. It had my gamer tag on there. Look, see, Doughboy 99. I had it. Mine said Jez 77. I went to Quiznos. I just remember Quiznos because that was like the only freaking time that I used it was goddamn Quiznos. Look, it came on a... See, where is it? Told you. See, it came here. Get started. The complete list of participating retailers to review the discounts and read any additional program information. This was included with Xbox Live. D Almighty, what's up, man? The Diamond program will continue to grow, and the Xbox Diamond program. That's how I'm going to find that now. Xbox Diamond. This is a great... I told you we're going to go down memory lane. Xbox Diamond program. Told you. Oh, shit. Oh, I forgot. In 2008, they charged you a membership fee. They were finessing us back then. It was free, but then they see Passport Lifestyle. Then they charge $6.95 in 2008. Ah. See? Passport. Oh yeah, Passport Unlimited was what they used. Honestly, the program isn't super useful. We don't see many people forking over $7 to get that free Taco Bell. I thought you got free tacos when it was included, but they got you, and then they wanted to charge, but I didn't pay anymore. So that's when it died, when they started charging people, because whoever they partnered with, the Passport Lifestyle. But you got discounts. You walked around like a badass pulling out my Xbox Live Diamond card. Sons of a bitch at Quiznos. I was like, you son of a bitch. I'm like, extra tuna, bitch. Put some extra tuna on that sandwich. I got my Diamond Club, bitch. Don't let me take out my diamond. Don't let me take out my medal. Here it comes. He's like, sir, I'm done. I'm like, no. You put some more. I got to put some more meat on that sandwich. I got my Xbox Live Diamond Club, bitch. My Phil Spencer. What's his name? Mark Whitten. He told me I got my Diamond Club. I want extra cheese, bitch.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
You were a badass when you were an Xbox Live Gold member. You were a badass. Now, you're a bitch ass. Hate to say it. I was a badass. Now you're a bitch ass. You're getting goddamn games with coal. I call it not games with gold, games with coal. Shit ass games that you're getting in your service now. You were a badass walking around with that Xbox Live Diamond Club member, flipping out that shine, yo, man. I went out on dates. I was like, oh, shit. She's like, oh. I'm like, I got it. I pulled out my Xbox Live Diamond Club card. Holy shit, you got one of those? Yeah, you bet. I got my Diamond Club. I was at Applebee's. I was like, you son of a bitch. Here we go. It's my Diamond Club. Here it is, bitch. Here it is. They said, sir, 10% off. I'm like, holy shit, you can get that dessert. You want that dessert? Here's the Diamond Club. Now I'm like, hey, I'm Xbox Live. They're like, bitch, pay me. I'm going to give you some shit-ass games. I'm like, oh, shit, who's the bitch now? My God. But I told you, it was real. At least something. Dominic says, at least back then you got something for your money. Yeah, that's right. You got something for your money. Now they just take the money. I had the Xbox. I had the Xbox Black Belt. Games were cold. But yeah, so it did exist. But those are the days. This is what Xbox Live branding did, man. But yeah, they had the membership card. They had they had another feature of Xbox Live. Now, again, it's not going away. It's just now, like, it was hip. It was nice. It was Xbox Live had a nice ring to it. It had a longevity. And now it's just called the network. Because Phil says you're an active user. And I don't know, man. Like, it seems really shady that the reason why this changes here. Like, and what I was saying is that this should have been some sort of like, hey guys, let's go back down, like, how much, in 2002 or something like that? Like, let's go back down memory lane.
It used to be 29. It made it way up to 60. My whole thing is like,
oh yeah, you're right.
What I think Microsoft should, and this is just my personal opinion, with the whole Xbox division, and I listened to a couple podcasts recently, and what they need, in my opinion, is when they launched this console, they need a new user interface. Number two, if they're going to do Xbox Live and change the X to a network, it should have been at the beginning of the console generation.
You're right.
Like day one. A lot of things should have been day one, and so it can stick with people. Like, hey, it's now called Xbox. But I think they're doing a lot of things because they're acquiring a lot of people. I don't know if the game division of PlayStation is going to start acquiring companies. If I was Sony, I would like them to acquire at least the companies that make the big games for them, like what's the guys that made the Demon's Souls games? They need to acquire them. Bluepoint. I think Bluepoint would be a smart acquire. But I think Sony with the Japanese companies, they can just do a lot of deals, and they just, they'll come to Xbox, but maybe later. One thing I will say is, like, there's some things that surprise me. Like when I seen Octopath coming to Xbox Game Pass, I was like, yo, that's a good freaking game. That's a good deal. Not saying it's not coming to PlayStation, because it may. I guarantee it probably will, because Square and Sony have a real tight relationship. There was a time that Square was going to go under, and Sony basically bought a lot of stock in them. Basically, like you could say half, like they own half the stock shares in the Square.
Yeah.
And once Square got to the point where they became positive, Sony sold them their half back. So I think Sony and Square has such a tight knit relationship. No matter what, Square will always be there for Sony. Square's a company that will always be there for Sony. They become friendlier with Nintendo. They used to be real friendly, and they work with Microsoft. So I think out of the companies when you look at it, I think that Capcom is going to start getting closer to Sony. I think Namco Bandai is going to get closer to Sony because, and I know we haven't got to this, the Evo deal. I think that,
I think I talked about it in the other thing, but yeah, I don't have it on the list. But I'm trying to find Xbox Live, if they didn't put it on their wire at all. It's just
because Sony purchased Evo. I think that now you'll see some companies, and I think that you're going to see two different things to me this generation. So I think that Sony's going to really be strong in the category of their platform exclusives, and I think you're going to see the big Japanese companies do good. But I think for Microsoft, I think what may happen, and hopefully I'm praying this happens, that American division of stuff they purchased, the Bethesda's on it. I really want to see them push out their American RPGs because I like both sides.
Yeah.
And so there's a
let me ask you a question on this thing. They went back to Xbox Live Gold, right? They went back on and they had the cards out there for $9, $25, and $60 because they tried to jack up the price to double, right? Now they got a whole bunch of Xbox Live cards out there, and they decided to change the name to Xbox Network. So, you're right. They should have done this at the beginning of the of what the new consoles. Why are they doing this 6 months in? Because it's kind of weird. Why would you, if they're going to refer to everything as Xbox Network on their dashboards and stuff, because that's what people found it, you buy an Xbox Live card and it's like an Xbox Network card. It's just kind of weird. It's just really weird about the, it's just again, messaging and stuff like that. Just add it to everything else. Smart delivery, smart this, that, another tramp stamp. It's just, they just seem to be working on old, they remind me of the Kraken. Just a bunch of just limp things in the air, just flapping around. Woo, woo, woo. It's guys, C-Dicks, exactly. Just flapping they just have consistency in your have some time organization to your messaging. You were gonna double down on Xbox Live, and now you're gonna call it the Xbox Network, and you already have all Xbox Live cards out there. You're trying to show Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and then you have this Xbox Network, but some people are paying for this network and other people aren't.
Yes.
Yo, man, good luck to them. God bless them. You're right, Frog. Let's go to the next topic. I think
that's a problem, but yeah.
Yeah.
That is a general problem overall.
So, the main thing, actually, we're gonna go through.
You can't have some people paying for it and some people not.
That's weird, right? Yeah, it is weird. And then some games have some games have this, some games don't. It's just weird. And just the last point on that one, the whole update from it's intended to distinguish the underlying service from gold membership. So and I think you said this, the first thing was that it seems that they're trying to snowshoe everybody who is even, and this is, I think, a way of them to kind of combine their numbers, similar to how they now use Xbox as PC, Android, all these different platforms into one unified thing. I think have the Xbox Network, they're able now to combine Xbox paying Live Gold memberships with the free people on PC, the free people on Windows, the free people on Steam, the free people on Android, the free people on iPads and Apple, the free people on Samsung TVs. Now, by saying they're part of the Xbox Network, they could take those people who are not paying and merge them with the ones that are paying and just say, we have this many people on our network. So now they don't have to say, oh, we only have 50 million Xbox Live memberships.
Yeah, they can boost their numbers, and it makes everything look good.
Because then they were saying active users, and then people are like, well, are those paying customers or are those the freeloaders on Android phones? And now, by them going ambiguously to Xbox Network, they can finesse the numbers now and just be oh, well, we have 50 million paying Xbox Live Gold members, but guess what? I got a bunch of people that logged in to just use Chrome to use Bing browser on Windows Phone and set up an Xbox network, or somebody logged in to play Minecraft on a Switch, or somebody's playing Gears of War on an Android phone over the internet over at Starbucks.
Right.
I'm going to count that person as the same thing as Xbox Live paying members, and that's bullshit.
Yeah, that is.
That's bullshit. That's why everybody said Xbox Live needs to go away. They're right. It went away. It turned into an ambiguous Xbox network, which now you can't distinguish the paying customer from the free customer. And they've been doing this before. Like, same thing with CFDs. Oh, 10 million people playing. There's not 10 million people in right now.
Yeah. Because then it used to be where there was Xbox Live Silver and then there was Gold. Silver was
the free one.
You create your profile. You could do simple stuff. Gold was where you could play online. That was the bonus. And then Silver, I believe they changed it to say, okay, well, Silver, you can still do everything. You just can't play online. And then Gold, now you guys can get a percentage off of certain games if you're a Gold member. And then they changed it again. It was like, hey, if you got Silver went away and it just became Gold. And they're like, oh, if you're a Gold member, now you not only get, a percentage off for certain games every month, and you're going to get free games. They started trying different models. And I don't think that it's totally better. I think Xbox Live name is really, I don't know, maybe the console players, maybe if you call it Xbox Live Network, maybe that's, and I don't think this happened. Maybe it's the way they can charge PC people.
We got hot off the presses, Frog. Microsoft's spending some money. Somebody shout out to Gadget Guy. Look at this. Breaking news. Microsoft's in talks to buy Discord for more than $10 billion.
Ooh.
Microsoft is in talks to acquire Discord, a video game chat community, for more than $10 billion, according to people familiar with the matter. Discord reached out to potential buyers, and Microsoft is in the running, but no deal is imminent, said the people, who asked not to be identified because the discussions are private. Discord is more likely to go public than sell itself, one person said. Representatives from Microsoft and Discord declined to comment. VentureBeat reported that Discord was in talks to sell itself earlier today. And I think that is it from here. What do you think about that? This is a new hot topic. What do you think?
If that happens, I think that is a big deal. Discord, buying Discord is a big deal. And the reason I think it's a big deal is because it's like, holy crap, you just bought a service that is, kind of like it's gamer heaven,
Like they do have presence in Discord where you could use presence in Discord, where like you could find out if somebody's playing a game that get tied into Discord. But it's interesting is that maybe this is basically their now with Xbox Live going away and their Xbox Live chat, maybe this is their way of kind of blending the network together so they have a more ambiguous cross-network communication.
It's an easier way to say, hey, now when we want to put this on PlayStation or we want to put it on Switch, and we just call it, Xbox Network, it's just a network.
Oh, yeah, you bet. Like, this is the thing. People I know, would say get hyped of this stuff, but the thing is...
Of the console.
Okay, sorry, what were you saying?
I do think it will. I was about to say, I do think this... Game Pass will eventually try to come to
Discord.
Now,
Discord.
And whether Nintendo or Sony say yes or no is the other part to it. But I do think that Microsoft is in the works to say, hey, you know what? When we can stop making consoles wholly because we lose so much money off of it, and we can just have you buy into our service, that'd be better for us. And Sony and Nintendo are kind of doing the regular old console thing where they're like, hey, console sales for, first party games. Microsoft's like, screw it. Our first party's not hitting. Let's just go on ahead and try to put this service everywhere so everybody can play our games in this service. Now, would that hurt Sony? Yes and no. Because if you got a game like Outriders, it's on the PlayStation, but then it's in, your Xbox or your Xbox network, and Xbox network is on PlayStation and it's in there, it does hurt those sales. So I think it more or less, maybe it's one of those things where Sony's like, yeah, we can have it on our platform, but any game that we already have on our console you will not be able to access that. You'll have to, that's separately through the place. It can get real complicated.
But what's interesting about this is like they basically have Sony doesn't have a chat on PC at all, where Microsoft has Xbox chat on there with cross invites and all this other stuff, and it works. Like you could just use Xbox Live Chat, and you could be on PC and Xbox and play together. So they've already merged those two audiences together. However, if they buy Discord, then maybe there'll be some more Discord integration. But right now, Discord is a private company, but they're saying that, either they'll sell itself or they'll go more likely to go public than sell.
Wait,
so
how much they said it? The rumor was how much?
$10 billion.
For? It's a lot of money. That's more than
it's more than Bethesda.
Deal. So you got to think if that's true and they're willing to spend $10 billion. I mean, because who uses Skype? Let's be real. Who really uses Skype?
Well, they killed Skype and they killed Mixer and all this other stuff. The thing is, the thing is that, Microsoft is making some decent moves. And if this is true and they buy Discord and stuff like that, this is like, Microsoft is making moves, but you got to look at these moves as being part of a bigger picture. They are building themselves up to be the third-party unifying platform. Mm-hmm. That's what they're becoming to be. Like, they're making these big purchases and big developers like Bethesda and buying all those studios because they're bolstering up to be a bigger platform, bigger than the console. That's why Xbox Live, which was a niche little group that gave me my Diamond Platinum card, is gone now. We're the Xbox Network. Right. And the thing is that they are positioning themselves to be platform agnostic. They already have. And I think they will be reaching out to Sony and Nintendo in the next 5 years. And you will have their services and their stuff on those platforms. It might be different. The difference,
I was just about to say it'd be different because like a lot of people look at Xbox and like, oh, if they go away, it'll be like a Sega. The difference is they have money. The Microsoft company itself is $1 trillion company. They got money. So the thing is, if that platform, let's just say for all intents purpose, Microsoft is like, hey, this is going to be our last gaming console, and from now on, if you want to game, you have to game in our service wherever it's available. And so if it's available on PS6, you can game there still. So, go out and buy a PlayStation. Or if you don't want to do that, you can just stream. Or if you don't want to do that, you can just get a PC. Or if you don't want to do that, we got our Xbox network is on your TV and you can stream it directly from your TV.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to be what Stadia and what.
Well, they're trying to be a platform. Like they're trying to make their platform basically platform agnostic across device agnostic, but be like the platform to unify other devices. And Pug challenge says, but Jez, he goes, you use Discord. What happens if Discord becomes the next Mixer? The same thing that happened to Connect. The same thing that happened to Skype. The same thing that happened to Mixer. The same thing that happened to Groove Music. Like. They'll just die and Discord will go away and that's it. Like exactly. The thing is that buying Discord is nice, but the thing is like they already have something in Xbox Live that they spent years of stuff, and now they're just buying Discord. Like they would just buy Discord to replace the stuff that they have homegrown themselves with Xbox Network, Xbox Live or whatever, with cross chat and parties and all that other stuff. And, whether they'll take it and just build it in. The thing is like, this is my thing. This sounds nice on paper. And again, Microsoft seems to be like this paper champ. Like they bought Bethesda. They got 23 studios. They had 12 teraflops. On paper, this sounds like a win. But when you look at the reality of what they're producing and what's output is and what's kind of happening from this, it's very, very disappointing. Because it's not really, it seems like there's so much potential, but we don't know if Microsoft will see its potential. Mixer had potential. Hell, 2 years ago in October 2019, you thought Mixer was going to be the new wave because they bought all these high-priced people. But notice I said the word, bought. Microsoft is like the hair. They are trying to just beat you with speed and money. Not naturally growing and evolving anything. They have no time to home grow anything. Instead, they just going to buy and buy And you're going to see results like we had fail. Mixer. They bought Beam. Oh, remember you could control somebody over the internet and do. Sony built SharePlay into their system and continue to use that feature. Right? Sony built the Move controllers and that technology with the camera seeing those color orbs and continue to use it to this day for VR. Microsoft bought off-the-shelf Kinect, that technology, and put it into a camera and try to ship it with the thing. Microsoft did not build Kinect from the ground up. They bought the technology, and it didn't work. They bought Skype, video chats. Zoom came in and beat it. They made the Zune. They made Groove Music. Xbox Music, it was called. Gone. Microsoft just buys and kills because it's not natural growth. Xbox Live was natural. It was homegrown. They built that network from their passion. They built that community from the ground up with testing and evolving and features and games and capabilities and services and Diamond Club, ding, cards. Now it seems with Satya, they're in this business of just spending and 2,000 employees. You know what's going to happen? It's just going to fall off.
It's going to fall off. Yeah, I'm about to say it's going to fall off. It's going to fall apart.
Go on.
And this is something that I think people need to be ready for. Be ready that, Microsoft is the kind of company that will kill something in a heartbeat. They're about money.
They killed Mixer 6 months right after they spent all that money on Ninja and Shroud.
Mixer to me could have been the next big thing outside of YouTube, where it could have been just the main thing that they could have used for gaming instead of YouTube or Twitch. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah. I don't know. And what happened? Why did they cancel Mixer? They canceled Mixer because it wasn't growing fast enough.
Yes.
And it's like it wasn't that nobody was using it. Not a lot of people were using it, but it wasn't growing fast enough for what they needed. So, they're in talks to buy it. Hey, good luck. And you want to know what? It makes sense, but it kind of doesn't make sense if they buy Discord because they already have their own homegrown thing. But again, if you look at it, this is funny, is that DeFloyd says, follow me on Mixer. Now, what I find is funny is that it seems that, and hear this, and I know that this was derailed the whole friggin' Grinds boat, but we're going to go do the Grinds table with the next 3 topics. We're going to wrap this thing up. But what I want to say with this Discord thing is that it seems as if, just like with the Windows 10 store, Microsoft tried using their own stuff. People and developers did not gravitate to it. The use case is probably not worth the expense of homegrown. Everybody uses Discord. Let's just buy them. Everybody uses, everybody likes Bethesda games. Just buy them. Why recreate something? Why recreate the wheel? We'll just buy the company that everybody goes to. Nobody likes the Windows 10 store. Just put the games on Steam. Because nobody's coming to the store. It seems that Microsoft just wants to buy where the people are and then call them the people now belong to us. You know what I mean?
I've got news for you. You are mine now. You belong to me.
Like, basically, just say, like, hey, what's the engagement with Xbox Live chat, with the console, with PC, and people using the parties and stuff like that? And it's like, well, not many people are using the party chats anymore and stuff like that. Everybody just keeps using Discord, and they want to use Discord and stuff like that. And then Microsoft's just like, just buy Discord. That's where everybody's using to chat. Let's just buy Discord. They're not going to use our stuff. They're not using our stuff. And the same thing probably how Game Pass got created. So, did everybody buy Halo 5? Yeah, Halo 5 sold all right, but it's really, projections are not really selling that well. And they're like, well, you know what? They're not buying the game, so just put them in a subscription. Go. Just let's subscribe so we don't have to worry about that. Like, it just seems that Microsoft is just kind of wants to just buy recognition or buy justification or something like that. Like, it just seems like everybody's using Discord. Just buy them, and now we can say, hey, 50 billion people are on the Xbox network. Wow, what happened, Microsoft? Oh, we bought Discord, and now Discord's part of the Xbox network. So 50 billion people are using Xbox network. What? That overnight? Yeah, overnight. We just signed a deal with Discord. Discord's now part of Xbox network. Oh.
I think the problem is it's like they have the mentality, well, we can't beat them with just buying.
Exactly.
And that's
They don't have patience.
That's true.
Whatever. Go luck to them. It's still, guess what, guys? Guess what, grinders? Hit that like button because I'm going to tell you what. Guess what this does? I'll tell you what it doesn't do. It doesn't give us new blockbuster games. Get the fuck out of here. Nope. Next topic. Again, another bullshit Microsoft topic everybody could talk about in their podcast. We just wasted a whole fucking show about this stupid thing. And guess what it does? Guess what it amounts to? Not even a hill of fucking games. It amounts to nothing. It amounts to garbage. It amounts to just more Microsoft trying to stay relevant in an industry where they're becoming more and more irrelevant to the gamer because they're not putting out a fucking game. They'll buy your underwear. They'll buy your shirts. They'll buy your communication devices. They'll buy your studios. But hell, if I'm playing anything from them in the 3 fucking next months or in the next year, who the hell knows? Again, this doesn't amount to a hill of shit. So let them jerk off about Discord. 10 billion? Fuck, make it 20 billion. Who gives a shit? And leave it on every device where it is, and you can talk about exclusives out your ass. Maybe I'll have exclusive Xbox chat, but it doesn't bring any games to the platform, and whatever. You know what's funny? I read something about the Bethesda thing. Somebody's like, Microsoft bought Bethesda, and Bethesda was going to put their games on Xbox anyway. So what did Microsoft gain by buying Bethesda? Bethesda, those games are going to be on Xbox anyway. If Bethesda released the next 15 games, they were going to be on an Xbox device anyway. So why did you, like, by buying them, you weren't taking games away from anybody. Like, hey, we just made Sony games. Now they're going to make games for us. So we took games away from them for us. Instead, they bought a company that was putting games on Xbox anyway. I don't know. Yeah, we just covered it, Shadow. Let them buy it. We'll put Discord with Mixer, and we'll add them with their friends over at Skype.
Right, yeah.
So the next topic, I'll retweet this. Microsoft. Let's see what people are saying. No, Microsoft will destroy the software. Isn't this like a monopoly? It says, dude, why is Microsoft buying everything? Discord was made to beat Skype, not become them. That's funny. I hope Microsoft does acquire Discord so we integrate properly for Xbox Live. Well, that's Hustle Motivate. Hustle Motivate is not live anymore. I love Discord and hate using. See, but hear what Hustle says. Hustle it plays on PC primarily, right? So Hustle Motivate, shout out to him. He says, and definitely go follow him. He does awesome streams and stuff like that. Hustle and Motivate. He goes, I hope Microsoft does acquire Discord so I can integrate properly for Xbox Live. I love Discord. I hate using Xbox's voice chat. See? That's exactly what I said. They might be seeing the use cases of Xbox voice chat and seeing when they're using PC players and Xbox gamers that they're using Discord. I used it once playing with Merc305. Shout out. I think Merc, you're still around. Merc305, we were playing. I would have like a Discord and we would use Discord. We weren't using the Xbox party chat. So that's why I thought, it makes sense. Because that's where people are going. And then they could just put them part of the Xbox network. Right? Now we got all these people. But anyway. So we're going to go to the grinds table, guys, for the last segment. And we're going to talk about the Xbox Series S holding back per the Oh, my God. That was a crazy interview. Did you see that one, Frog? What the guy said about the Xbox Series S, the control dev.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we'll hear that. And the Xbox consoles, he also said, we're not ready. He said Xbox wasn't ready and Sony did things that were true. So we're going to go into that little bit of interview and talk about it. And then maybe we'll wrap up with what's next gen. But, I think we talked about enough. We had some Yo, there's Merc. Yo, Merc. So you see that. So, like, it makes sense because like nobody uses Xbox chat. Everybody uses Discord. So
Merc.
what's up, Merc?
Well, I watched Merc play Gears of War the other night, man. He was in there doing the thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. And Discord's awesome. I like Discord a lot. And you know what? Whatever. They buy them, integrated into the PCs and all this stuff, put it into Windows, do whatever you want, Microsoft. You know what? Is what it is. Anyway, let's go. The fire's lit. We got over 70 grinders in here. Awesome. Hit that like button. Ghostface says 10 billion and still no games. That was my point. Exactly. Hit that like button. Share it out. We're going to go for the humdinger. The humdinger. The grind.
Yeah, usually I wouldn't go there, but I think if I had a bike, I would go there more.
What happened? What'd you say? Who? Oh, Frog ruined my punchline.
I'm
Frog.
sorry.
No, what'd you say? You said something. I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
No. I said sometimes you can reflect on some things, you know, when you look at the past and see where
Oh,
you come from.
yeah.
And what I was trying to say is, like, I think that Microsoft doesn't, with the 360, I think they look back at their original Xbox and they were able to reflect. And I think that with the Xbox One, they reflected too much and they said, you know what, screw it. We're going to go all in because we did so great with that last system. And I think that they've kind of gotten to a point where they're like, shoot, if we make it, we make it. If we don't, we don't. That's how I kind of feel like they are right now.
Yo, shout out. One thing before I hit that button for the grinds table, Frog. Oh, no, it's Alex. Shout out to him. He says, this is the most non-fucking article ever. He says, one sentence, Microsoft's buying Discord. The next sentence, it says they'll go public. Yeah, Bloomberg is, like, writing out their ass. Like, it makes no sense. Like, and then, what's his name said that, Microsoft was also looking to buy Instagram, too, and that fell through. So, hey, man. You know, is what it is. Yeah. Skype and Microsoft's other messaging platforms are lagging behind. See, it says Skype and Microsoft's other messaging platforms are lagging far behind the competition. Things could get even worse if Microsoft doesn't do something. So, like you can see, their communication, if they want to integrate all these devices, they're going to have a unified platform. And nobody wants Xbox Live communication. See? Just like nobody wanted the Windows 10 store. So what did they have to do? They had to put the stuff on Steam, and that's where it's seeing success. So the same thing. Nobody wants Microsoft shit. So now they're going to use Discord. But what people don't realize is that some people don't want Microsoft shit because it's Microsoft. And when a company like GitHub, remember they bought GitHub? People are like, I'm out of here. Microsoft bought GitHub and shit like that. Like, people want, like people go to these things because of their independence, because of their uniqueness. But when a big company goes and buys them, sometimes you lose people. People are like, I'm not, now Microsoft owns them, screwed, I'm done. I think that's what happened with Skype. Skype was the shit. Nobody used it. After Microsoft bought it, nobody used it anymore. I don't know. And then they try to integrate it with Teams and, you know, and then what happened? Zoom came up out of nowhere, and everybody used Zoom. Nobody would use Skype. Skype is pre-installed on your goddamn computer because Microsoft owns it, and people still installed Zoom. Microsoft has a problem. And I'm going to tell you this. As a long-time Microsoft fan, Microsoft has a huge problem with getting developer buy-in and meeting the consumer product. That's why Xbox was such a success, because it broke the mold of Microsoft's failures to reach the consumer in so many things. Web TV, all this other shit. The Xbox broke that boundary, and because it was not Microsoft, it was Xbox. And it only survived that way because of its independence from Microsoft, the perception of independence. It still was owned by Microsoft, but Xbox was its own thing. And now it's fully integrated into the Microsoft ecosystem, and you could see Microsoft has always had a problem, even with Windows Phone. Microsoft always has a problem with developer buy-in. You watch a Google showcase, devs are like ripping off their shirts, going, "Google, I will make anything for you." Yo, you go to an Apple showcase, the devs, you want to talk about fanboys? Holy, they're like, Oh, here he is. Oh my God, Apple. The devs gush over that. Microsoft holds a Microsoft build. Everybody's like, they're using all their iMacs to take notes. Their MacBooks. They're like, fuck this and Microsoft bullshit. And Microsoft tried. They tried. I watched all this shit. They tried. They tried to get Windows Phone. They tried to get Windows 10 apps. Nobody won. They tried UWP. Universal Platform. It just works. Everyone's like, fuck you. I don't want to do it. Microsoft's like, fine. All right. We'll try the next just works. You know? I know, Chris Righteous, I know, I just talked about it. Derailed the whole show. It was right after 3 that they're in talks. So right after we talked about topic 3, Microsoft was in reports to that Microsoft is going to possibly buy them for $10 billion. But anyway, let's go to the grinds table. Enough chitter-chatter. Let's go. Let's talk about consoles. Enough about Microsoft as a business. Because that's, I feel like, all we talk about. Let's talk about games. Or the lack of thereof.
Ooh, yes.
Let's go.
Here's my part.
There it is. There we go. The power. Wait, Rob. We gotta wait. I got my sirens.
Wait, go ahead.
Enough from me. We're gonna have the games do our talking.
So here we are, the grinds table. Let me make sure I get my logos. Holy shit! Hit that like button, goddamn.
Hey man, I'm sorry.
All right, no, we're at the grinds table. Sirens are off. Everybody was yelling.
I got super excited. You said
So now we're gonna talk about the power and booster.
Yes.
Okay.
The rumors are true.
The power.
The power. Oh, Link came on. He saw the grinds table. He heard the sirens. We called him Link. All right. So we're gonna talk about no more about Microsoft spending money because everybody gets excited, even though it doesn't amount to hill of beans or hill of games. So let's talk about this new thing called the IGN console next gen console watch. I think it's a silly name, but this is what they do. So this guy from Control came in and single-handedly bitch slapped the Series S and the tools. So here he is, our good friend, I don't even know his name, but he came in and bitch slapped everybody. He was from the Control dev, and here he is. I'm going to call him Fred. Here's Fred. Let's see what Fred had to say. McCaffrey, I'm going to tell you another little thing, Grinders. Hit that like button. He came in, and McCaffrey looked stunned as to the response that this guy said after he asked the question. But let's hear what he had to say.
Need to have these. We're just
Where did Ryan ask him the question? Right? Did I have it set up here? Ryan asked him right here. So this is the thing that triggered everybody over the weekend. Let me get that video.
So we shipped Control.
Wait. I had it there and I lost it. Let's see.
The finances won't really work that way, right? So it's never a question
Here it is.
like performance or.
Here it is.
With Control.
There we go. Found it.
What you're talking about. The last question we have for you. I'm just kind of curious, in your experience, in Remedy's experience with Control, were there any kind of major differences between developing Control for PS5 versus developing it for Series X? And really kind of, I'd throw the Series S in there too, because that's, certainly a wild card in the sense that there isn't a comparable thing on the Sony side for that. So I'd just be curious if you could quickly speak to the differences, if any, between the two platforms.
Oh, of course there's differences, and I talk a lot with the engineers and many team members about that. I mean, ultimately both machines are great. They're really well built, and like I said, it's early days, so there's still a lot of just system level issues and bugs that impact performance or cause crashes and things like that. It's just that's all gonna get better. Sony kind of stuck to what worked, and their sort of development software and tools were pretty stable and good pretty early on. and it's one of the things that people don't really see. Like all of these impact like the performance that the consumer gets. And Microsoft opted to change quite a lot of things, which on the long run are probably good, but of course it's just a bigger hurdle for us devs early on to kind of like, we got to rewrite a bunch of different things to really take advantage of specific features. And that's not that's not like a huge negative or anything. It's just what software development is like. But maybe that explains some of the things, like there's all this discussion like about teraflops, this and that. I'm just like, man, it's just numbers. Like ultimately, like the tools and everything just matters so much more, and how all of that is brought together matters so much more than just purely the numbers.
Right.
And then Series S, well, it's it's no different from like the previous generations where like the system with the lowest specs does end up dictating a few of the things that you're going to do, because you're going to have to run on that system, right?
Yeah.
And it's very easy to say that, well, you just like lower your resolution and texture quality and off you go. It's just nowhere near that simple. Like it sounds good when you say it, and every engine is built in a different way. It's another thing when gamers might be, like these idiots, like this game engine like does all of these things. Well, it depends on, are you making like an engine that's much more about, GPU bound or CPU bound? Like which are you taxing a whole lot more? Well, we kind of tax kind of both, because we have a lot of physics, but then we have a lot of the ray tracing effects. But then that makes a huge difference, especially on Series S. So it's a lot more difficult to engineer an old game to make sure it works on everything. But now that we're building the future games, and hey, we know these are the system it has to run, we take that into account from day one, and we can ensure that all platforms have
by targeting the lowest system
experience as possible.
Let's see McCaffrey's face.
That's what needs to happen. And we appreciate that there's a lower barrier of entry for next gen experience, but like the more hardware you have, the more you kind of have to ultimately compromise a little bit when you are like a smaller studio like us, where we just can't.
Did he just say compromise because of the more hardware?
Spend so much time making sure that, well, all these platforms are like super good. Of course we need to do that, but there's just a difference in doing that, because it takes a huge amount of resources, not just engineering, but QA. It's a huge QA overhead to test so many different games. Like I don't envy folks making Halo Infinite that has to ship on so many platforms. Like they have the resources and money, but man, that stuff, like it's super tough to.
Joined by Ryan McCaffrey, host of IGN's Xbox podcast.
I hit the wrong button.
The more you they have the resources and money, but man, that stuff, like it's super tough to ensure everything works great. But like I said, when I talk to our engineers and designers, like it's like the systems are solid, like especially considering
solid
like,
systems,
how difficult
but you
last year
gotta.
was.
This dude, where's Ryan McCaffrey's face? Here he is.
Into game development.
Stunned.
Super fascinating. I
Stunned.
keep the conversation going for a lot longer, but unfortunately we're running out of time. But thank you so much for stopping.
I don't have my humana. Dude. Okay. So we heard the bitch slap across the world, and
means when I think about Xbox,
Phil.
I think about quality games. We have work to do there. We haven't done our best work over the last
Phil.
few years.
Hey, Phil, thank you. Yes, you haven't done the best work over the last few years. So this guy said a lot of stuff. Now they're at the grinds table. Oh, man. Ryan McCaffrey, stunned. He's like, you just made fun of my booster. He's like, booster! Yeah, so... Anyway, so he said a couple of things. First was the whole existence of the tools, and the fact that Microsoft did something where they changed a lot of stuff with the Xbox Series X and S, and Sony kind of stuck to what worked. So, and I think we're seeing that with a lot of these multi-platform games, and I think that kind of addresses some of the questions as to why the PlayStation 5 seems to be performing better in certain games, in majority of the games, where the Xbox seems to have these glitches, these stutters, these bugs, these things, because Microsoft changed the internals. The one question I just want to let you, the one thought I just want to leave with you guys too, is that it's pretty interesting that Microsoft changed so much when for us, it looks like they didn't change anything regarding the dashboard, the feature set, all that stuff was the same, but they changed a lot of stuff on the back end. And it didn't help developers, but who did it help? Because Sony changed the dashboard for us, changed the operating, the technology, the things, and kept to what worked for the devs. And one thing I will leave you with before I get you guys' input is that the first thing that Cerny said, we went around to developers and listened to them in his snore fest of his show. He said that we went out to developers and see what they want. Where Phil is like, we need to move games. Like Microsoft is I think building that system for what their future is, and the devs need to come along. And that kind of goes into the last conversation we had, where Microsoft seems to always have a problem bringing on the devs to follow their vision and not give the stuff for the devs to make the devs' vision. Instead, their vision needs to match Microsoft's vision. And that's why they don't jump on board. So what do you think about that whole thing with the tools and all that stuff being ready?
Well,
not ready, I guess, for them.
Well,
they're not ready.
Yeah, I've heard these things and stuff, but you see how he kind of chuckled whenever he started talking about the Series S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the next topic. Just talk about that. We'll go get into that one. But what about the whole with the tools, like the performance, where Sony stuck to what worked, and Microsoft changed stuff?
It seems that Microsoft, which if I'm correct, they went to what they call the GDK.
Yeah, the GDK.
Which is supposed to be a development environment that you can scale between all the way from the Xbox One S to PC to the Series S, Series X. So when you're trying to optimize, they're trying to make it easier for developers to optimize their games to put on all these different platforms.
Yeah, and that was the last thing you said, yeah.
But it doesn't seem as though it's hampering the performance in these games. So obviously there's some issues here.
Yeah. Frog, what do you think?
Yeah.
About the tools.
Personally, I was going to say, I personally think that, and I've always said this, I thought that when Microsoft decided to have two consoles, I think that they were so far in the plans of having, this Series S to just sell quickly and get people into next gen, and they shouldn't have did that. I think that the X should have been the standard, and if they were going to do something, do it just as console, kind of like Sony did. I think that they made the wrong mistake by having an S, because I think that it does hold back some things for them, particularly. And I think that it's not a good look. I don't see the point of buying an S. I'll be honest with you.
There's no
Series
point.
S.
Yeah.
I think there's no point in that console. I think that and even at this point, I think that if Microsoft want to kind of like get favor backing with people, say, hey, you know what? We also have a Series X for you, and it's our $399X without a disc tray. And I think that's a route they should have went once they saw Sony out there. And I think ultimately they didn't want a lot of SKUs, but I think by them looking at Sony and saying, damn, they put the same console on there out there, one for $399 and one for $499. I think Microsoft should have at that point said, damn, we got this S. Because they if everybody remembers, the PlayStation announced their crap way before they announced the S. Yeah. Microsoft should have said at that point, hey, let's not even say anything about this S, and let's just go ahead and brand another X.
It was too late.
It was too late.
Yeah,
I was about to say it was too late because they already manufactured them, right?
Yeah.
So they had to sell them, right? And that's what I think it ultimately hurt. I think that hurt them.
So
it's going to hurt them still.
So this is how you know that in a situation. Well, this is how you know that Game Pass is their main focus, which they've already said this. But this type of a 1S or Series S, whatever it's called, is really just a Game Pass box. It's an all digital console. It's not designed with developers in mind because there's no way that when Microsoft, well, Jason Ronald or whoever met with devs and they told them about this Series S that anyone was going to be happy with this hardware, any developer. So, you know, you go out here and you say, oh, it's the 1440p, 120 FPS box, which that's a lie because most of the games are running sub 1080p.
Yep.
And they're not, and it's oh, just lower the resolution. No, because
you heard what he said, right? About
right,
that?
He said that.
He joked.
But
He's
yes,
like, wait, I was going to say what he said. Well, he said
lower
that's not true.
Quality and resolution.
Like a lot of things.
Yeah, you can't do that because you see that there are games that have ray tracing on the Series X that don't have it on the Series S.
That too, you're right.
There's obviously a hardware limitation because of the specs of this console that is just not frame rate and resolution. So clearly there's a bottleneck. Well, I mean, you can look at the specs on this console and tell that it's pretty weak, but it's clear that this hardware is going to hold this generation back when it comes to third-party games because no matter what third-party game comes out, it's got to run on this hardware.
Yes.
There's no way you're going to be able to release a game on the Xbox platform and it not be playable on the Series S. Microsoft's going to mandate that these games work on all of their platforms.
Well, you even hear what he said, too, about, like, he feels bad for the Halo Infinite. Like, he calls out Halo Infinite just at, like, all those SKUs. And this is why exclusives matter. Like, the fact that a Sony dev has to work on just a Sony hardware, a Microsoft dev, all those 23 studios have to work on all these consoles, all the PCs. Do they work on an Android phone on the X Cloud? Do they it is stretching them real thin, and you might get a game that just needs content later because they can't fit it all in one just to make the game work. You'll get day one guns. That's why Halo has day one guns because they can't put all the content that they want in day one. They don't have the time or resources to do it.
If you look at a game, Halo Infinite, okay, it's supposed to be this open world first-person shooter. Okay?
Semi-open world. They even said that's not a full
semi-hub open world first-person shooter, right? You're trying to run this game, right, on the
OG Xbox.
OG Xbox and scale it all the way up to the Series X and PC and everything, right? There's no way because you still have the same skeleton. I don't care if the resolution is higher, if the texture quality is better. It still fundamentally has to be the same game. So that's a tough task to tell developers to scale your hardware from this weak, anemic OG Xbox, you know, all the way up to the Series X. I mean, that's a lot. And PC, all the configurations of PC. That is a huge
that's
task.
their studios. And the funny thing you said about the resolution. So this is what he says about the resolution, and I want to show you where he says that it's ignorance to just say it's resolution drop. Watch this. Ready? Hear what he says.
And it's very easy to say that, well, you just like lower your resolution and texture quality and off you go. It's just nowhere near that simple. Like, it sounds good when you say it, and every engine is built in a different way.
So hear what he said, right? Let's go to this. The primary difference between Xbox Series X, so you heard what he said, right? The primary difference between the Xbox Series X and the Series S is resolution. Through talking to our customers, we found that many of our fans prioritize frame rate over resolution, so we wanted to build a console that didn't require a 4K TV. The Xbox Series S delivers approximately 3 times the GPU of Xbox One and was designed to play games at 1440p at 60 frames per second. So the first sentence there, the primary difference between the Series X and the S is in resolution. He says that it's not that simple. It's not just resolution. It's other things. And this is from he says it sounds good on paper. This is from their wire. This is the Xbox saying this. This is not interpretation. This is them saying this stuff. Then let's see what David Cage said. David Cage said, this is another thing that he says, we will focus on the weakest platform. Remember people going, oh no, you do the highest one and scale down. You don't do that. Shout out to Optimus Code, because you don't do that. You have to make sure this thing
Exactly.
works on the weakest hardware. So your target is the lowest one. And look what David Cage said. He's really not a big fan of this situation. And what have we seen consistently? Well, somebody wrote something. Read that funny shit. I don't know what funny shit. Wait a second. Holding back last gen games. Well, David, like, we've heard general about the whole, like, devs are not really happy of the existence of the Series S. They just wanted next gen hardware to focus all. You got to remember, they make these new hardwares for the devs because the devs probably complained. That's probably why those mid gen refreshes existed, because they're like, the shit that you give us right now, we can't make the games we want to make. And they go, well, here's more powerful console. So now you give them more powerful console, but you also go, well, here's a weak one too. And they're like, but why did you do that? I just want to focus on the higher end to make my game. Why now do I have to worry about if this works on the Series S, which is basically like a placeholder, a stopgap, because that benefits, like what Link said, your Game Pass model. Well, I'm not putting my game in Game Pass. I want to make a next-gen game. Why do I have to make sure that it works on Booster? Nobody likes Booster. That's the point.
We got plenty of Turbo Man's faithful Sabertooth Tiger Booster.
And you got all these people saying that, oh, well, it's the high end, it's not going to hold it back. And all these devs are saying that. These are developers, not me.
Right.
It's not the panel here. It's all these devs are saying
multiple devs are saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Multiple devs are saying the same thing. Look at this hardware. This hardware is weak. Yeah, it's got a similar CPU to the Series X, but the GPU and the memory bandwidth, look at the speed of that RAM in that Series S. It's terrible. So
yes, the RAM is bad. Yeah,
the RAM and its split configuration with less RAM. It is just clear that the difference between these games, the Series S games tend to run worse on it than the Series X sometimes. Games are missing ray tracing. Even Remedy pointed out that the Series S does not have ray tracing because of the hardware, not because of their software or their engine. So it is what it is. I mean, and unfortunately, this is the hardware. I don't care if Microsoft comes out with a mid-gen refresh. If they cancel the Series S, it's out there now. So they have to still support it. And devs, third-party devs, are still going to have to make their games run on this weak hardware.
And you know what else is interesting, too? Like, people are like, well, it's great for the kids or for the second room. The thing is that if you just want a cheap Xbox, why don't you just get a Xbox One S or One X if you can find that? I think the One X for $300 is a great deal. But, like, why don't you just get that? First off, there's no true next-gen games that Microsoft has identified. Halo's not. The Medium, I guess you missed out on playing the Medium, but it's not like Microsoft had a lineup of games that you're going to miss. And anyway, if it's for your kids, are your kids playing the Medium? No. The kids want to play Minecraft, and they're going to play Fortnite and Rocket League, and all those games work. And why would you spend $300 on a 1440p machine, or a 120 frames per second screen for your kid? Like, I just don't understand it. Like, if you really are trying to save money, you would buy them the last gen console. You wouldn't buy them a halfway next gen console.
Well, first of all,
if it's for the kids, you know,
who has a
120 frame?
Right. How many games are running? Okay, first of all, most new TVs that do offer 120 FPS are not 1080p TVs. They're normally 4K televisions.
Yeah, and they're expensive TVs too.
And they're expensive televisions. They're not going to buy a Series S.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because you're not getting the full benefit of this brand new 4K TV that you just spent all this money on.
Yeah, but you'll get the frames though, right?
You'll get the frame. You're not going to get. Okay, listen. How many 1440p 120 FPS games do we have on that Series S?
There's a few, but there's a lot. I think there's about like 15 to 10
and 120.
Oh no, 14. No, not
No,
1440p in
no,
120.
no,
It's 1080p
no.
in 120, maybe
1080p,
1080p. Or
900p, 720.
and know what else
I mean,
too?
come on.
Wait, Link. I'm gonna say it's not only when you run 120. It's not only just the resolution that drops. Look at Dirt 5. They take out the
Look at the
fucking
quality.
crowd. The crowd goes away. You're basically
Yes.
racing preliminaries. The
Yeah.
crowd goes away. There goes Phil Spencer comes in with the lawnmower, takes away the grass. Now you're playing
I
at 120.
guarantee you, anybody who has a 120 FPS TV or monitor is not in the market for a Series S.
Exactly. But for the
They
kids,
are
though,
not in
what
for
kids
a
are
Series.
playing on 120 frames per second TV? What kids? Tell me those kids. Those kids who get an X. Those people will not get an S.
No.
The S is an excuse for bullshit. The S should have been a discless Series X, just like the digital PlayStation, and called it a day. Instead, and anyway, I think $300 is hot. And also, they're charging $300 for this thing. Remember, everybody, they charged $500 for the One X, the most powerful console in the world, and dropped it to $300 before they got rid of it. All right? They overpriced it, that ass, for $500. They overpriced it over a year-old tech of the PlayStation 4 Pro. It came out at $400.
How is the Series S moving gaming forward?
It's not.
It's not. I mean, it's really a. When I heard the rumors about this hardware, I was never on board with it. I thought it was a mistake, and I was really hoping that it wasn't true. But of course, it was. Because this type of decision making, it has nothing to do with gaming. It has nothing to do with what devs want. It only serves Game Pass. So,
Exactly.
I mean, that's just what it is. Everything from the hardware Microsoft is making, everything serves Game Pass. So that's just
You
the way
know
they're
what
going.
would be interesting, and this is something that I realized when I was doing. I'm just gonna put my little smart comment in here, just to remind you: 120 frames per second with no crowds and a special cameo by Phil the Lawnmower Man Spencer, and so that's what you get, because it's not just resolution that drops; the crowds go home too. So I just want to put that in there to have official documentation of the crowds and Phil the Lawnmower Man Spencer.
And it's gonna get much worse when we go further.
Oh,
when
we just started.
When we stop cross gen, when they stop all this cross generation and they just start focusing on this next gen hardware, and these game engines are going to get more and more demanding. And on top of that, I mean, 512 gigabyte hard drive. I mean,
Yeah, right. And then a $200 expansion, which I know Sony didn't do theirs, but Jesus, they only give you one option at $220.
Well, if
for
you
that.
look at people who are complaining about Sony not offering expandable storage, there is a reason that you cannot expand the storage on the PlayStation right now. Mark Cerny said that on the road to PS5.
Yes.
They have to have M.2 SSDs that are fast enough that operate not at the same speed that the SSD that the PS5 has, but faster, because those aftermarket SSDs are not going to have the amount of channels that the internal hardware has. So it's going to run faster. So there's really maybe one or two external. I mean, there's only maybe one or two M.2 drives that even probably are going to run fast enough right now to work with the PlayStation. So these drives are just not readily available, and that's what Mark Cerny was trying to tell people.
Yeah,
we got to wait for the hardware companies to catch up to the speed that we have. So it's not that they just don't want to turn it on; it's just that the hardware is just not available.
Exactly. And the thing is that it's still whenever they turn the switch. Yes, I would like it and all that stuff.
Right
now, because I'm impatient. But the thing is like it is still. The idea is that it's an open market for M.2 drives. You can get them from anywhere, whereas this is a proprietary memory card that's in a case that clips onto the back and a proprietary port with no competition, and they could charge whatever they want. And if you want an example of this, go look at not too far back, but the 360 that had the expandable hard drive that was in a custom shell.
Yeah.
It was $120 for like a 500 gig or 200 gig or something like that. And because it was in the proprietary connection, You could just stamp that, and it had a clip onto the top. That was their solution. So now you got a proprietary memory slot that this thing works in, and that could be whatever price they want, and you're at the mercy of inventory, and you're at the mercy of price and demand of that one type of memory card. Whereas the M.2s, and trust me, I'm sure Sony will come out with a recommended list, and I bet you other M.2 drives will work as well, just not to the speeds of what they are telling you. That's probably
with competition from these third-party manufacturers, the prices will go down.
Exactly, like Crucial. They'll have like Samsung will have their M.2 drive, which I'm sure that'll be the recommended one, which is very expensive. I use the Crucial. I have it in my laptop right now, the M.2 drive. I bought and I could buy 2 terabytes. Spend a little more money. I could buy one. They only give you a one size option with the proprietary memory card for Xbox. There's only one. So you got to look at the big scheme of things, not just when it's available, but look at the big scheme of things and look that Sony is allowing for an open market of expandable storage that will work at the speed equivalent to this thing that you have. When Microsoft is using proprietary, basically, memory cards, that you will be at the mercy of them. Now, maybe they'll make Western Digital make one too, and there'll be some competition. But right now, they're in bed with Seagate, and Seagate will tell you exactly what they are. And he says, Jez, they're around $180 right now. Oof. For what? At 1 terabyte?
What, the Microsoft chip?
The Microsoft ones? For 1 terabyte? I thought they were $220. Let's see.
They were the retail price.
They dropped? Why would they drop in price? Let's see. Xbox Series X hard drive. External. What the hell are they called? What the hell are they called? External memory cards?
External hard drive. Oh, no. I don't know if it's not an external. It's
Let's see. Where are they? Here it is. Let's see how much it is. Oh shit. Who's that? Who said that stuff? Oh, I think Gadget Guy was talking about the M.2 drives. Here he goes.
Drive,
yeah. And Sergeant says it. Samsung 980 Pro is already at $199 for 1 terabyte. Well, here you go. Here you go, guys. Look at this. This is what proprietary cards do. Here you go. 219 MSRP for 1 terabyte card. $220. You said I already seen. You're right. The Crucial one, I saw 2 terabyte. Let's find one, right? If this one works. See, again, I don't know if it works, but like if you look, the M.2 Crucial, I think it's like $200 for a 2 terabyte. Oh, here it is, M.2s. 2 terabyte one. Let's see how much that 2 terabytes are. But again, I don't know if these will work. But it gives you an idea of the competition. Crucial. That's what it is. Crucial memory. Let me see. Where to buy. Let's go Newegg. Newegg has them in stock. Let's see. Here you go. So a 2 terabyte one. Let's see how much their 1 terabytes are. Let's see. Where to buy. And then. Yeah, so hold on. Where's that 1 terabyte? They're 2 terabytes at $233, and then the 1 terabyte is, I think, just like what's 2. Oh wow, what the hell? $232. What the hell? But I'm just saying, like, this is. Hey, what's up, Ice Cream Gaming? How you doing? Yeah, his was $240. Guapzilla said that. And Guapzilla, you're right. That's exactly what they're coming in as. They're over here. Here. Just want to make sure there's no like crazy stuff on here. Yeah, see. So this is just from Newegg. So a 2 terabyte. Not saying that this is going to work on the PlayStation, but you already see if these are one of them. You're already looking at double the memory that Xbox is offering here. 1 terabyte for $219 when you could get a 2 terabyte for $233. Double your memory for just about the similar price. And this is just one of them that might work. Maybe this doesn't work. But if this is the range of what a 2 terabyte is, by the time Sony says, let's go, my $219 right now is going to buy me a 2 terabyte one. Whereas if you're on Xbox, $219 is gonna buy you a 1 terabyte one. This is and where's that? That's what a proprietary memory card does. This is open market. This is proprietary. And then see, somebody just found an add data one, 1 terabyte for $200. But look, double the size. This is where I'm going. This is why I'm crucial. Man, this is what's exact. This is what's in my. I got a 1 terabyte. I think in my laptop right now of this. Now I don't know if crucial memory is going to work, but I'm gonna say like if you just look up 2 terabyte M.2s. I know we kind of derailed here, but M.2s, but it's just like, you're looking around 200. Yeah, like, yeah, here's a Seagate one, M.2 at $200, 2 terabyte. There's a Crucial one, 224. Barracuda, let's see. Samsung is the expensive one, though. Samsung is at $329 for a 2 terabyte one. So who knows? Maybe only the Samsung ones. I don't know. But again, you have some variety. But we're talking 2 terabytes. You don't even have 2 terabyte option for this one. And what's crazy is that the 2 terabytes are in the $200 price range. Whereas Microsoft's already in the $200 price range for 1 terabyte. What happens to come out with a 2 terabyte one? That's why they're not coming out with one, because that would be like somebody will look at that and go, "What? $400? I'm not paying. That's as much as a console." So what they're gonna do is they're gonna milk a 1 terabyte for $219 because they know they can't put out a 2 terabyte one. But this is the difference between open market versus this. There's plenty of options here, and I'm sure Microsoft. Well, here's a $250 for 2 terabyte. We're talking double the memory. So. Anyway, that was a sidetrack of memory cards, but that's the difference with proprietary. But just trying to say, like, that's an added cost for a $500, a 500 gigabyte Xbox Series S, the booster. And the final point that he made too was, developing for the smallest, the least common one and multiple platforms. And again, just like somebody said, Link, you hit it on the head, in the fact that this is a Game Pass box. This is an accessibility box, a box for Game Pass, and basically that's right. This is what it is. And the thing is what's interesting is that this is where we see what Microsoft wants to do. And oh my God, Broken Games HD says, "I had 0 issues with Microsoft buying Bethesda. Now, if Microsoft buys Discord, then I got a big problem." See what I mean? People will not like Microsoft, and this is the same thing that I saw happen with GitHub and things like that. Like, people like this because of what it is. As soon as Microsoft gets their grubby hands on it, people will probably go to something else. And, because Microsoft is just trying to buy clout. And that's the thing. Like, Microsoft has their vision. They have a problem with getting everybody else on board to their vision. The Series S is their vision of having an accessible next-gen console, all digital, that's for Game Pass. And the marketing with that thing is that you will have access to 200 or so games in a subscription, and then you would need to buy more memory and accessories to build that out. So here's a $200 memory card. Guess what? They make more money on the memory card, more probably than the console itself, because it's an accessory. So they probably make, like, there's such overhead on that card that they probably make. They want you to buy that card.
See, the Xbox doesn't have that compression technology that Sony
that too, right? Yeah, we've been seeing that. Yeah.
So, yeah, the Series S was a poor, poorly. I won't say poor design console, but a console that never should have been released.
Yeah.
It
does nothing for gaming. Like, it really does nothing for it's nothing for gaming, and that's the thing. Like, it does nothing for moving them forward and allowing the devs to fully utilize the power of the system. Like, you can't say we have the most powerful and we have the weakest next gen console. It's just, it doesn't you can't have your cake and eat it too. And again, I'd say this to Frogs a lot, when we talk about stuff. But Microsoft, again, just like you said, they're flapping around with their messaging, with getting rid of Xbox Live and doing this stuff. It just seems that they're throwing shit against the wall to see what sticks. They're buying a whole bunch of developers. There's a lot of redundancy in these developers that they have of these 23 studios. You got a Vow that looks like Skyrim, but then you got Oblivion, and then you bought Bethesda, who makes Oblivion. Then you got a sci-fi shooter in Doom, but then you also have Halo, which is a sci-fi shooter, and then you got Forza. You got Outer Worlds, and that along with Avowed, and and Fallout. So you got Fallout people with the Outer Worlds. You got Rare making a game that they still don't know what the game is, and then you got a studio, a bunch of people who are from Tomb Raider, with David Gallagher, who made Tomb Raider, a third-person action-adventure game, and you say, we're not going to have Rare built on their old IP of Perfect Dark. Instead, we're going to build a new studio, and they're going to make Perfect Dark. When you got Rare, you own Rare, who had Rare, Perfect Dark, go. Why would you say what is it? The Initiative, Perfect Dark, go. Like, who? Rare made Perfect Dark. That's nostalgia, right? Oh, no, Initiative is going to make it. But you own Rare. Why wouldn't you associate Rare with Perfect Dark? That seems like a win-win. Oh, no, let them make it. Then take a studio that's known for racing games and have them make Fable from a studio that you shut down, Lionhead, and got rid of the heart of Fable, Peter Molyneux, who left. And Fable was never Fable after Fable 2 because he was gone with Fable 3. And now you shut them down, but now you take a studio that makes racing games to make Fable. It just seems very haphazard. Very just kind of, oh shit, somebody better do something because we got to post something on Xbox Wire. It doesn't make sense. And that's where I look at it, and I'm like, it seems like a shit show over there. It just seems like they're just buying, and then it's like, let's just add another 20. Let's just add Bethesda to the whole shit show. We haven't seen any product of the studios we bought in 2018. We put some passion projects out. We already cut Bleeding Ass off. Like, that's another thing. You let that game come out from Ninja Theory, who was world famous of Hellblade. You make them put out a shit-ass game, you don't support it, and you kill it before a year is out. What does that say about supporting new games and new IPs and multiplayer nonetheless? You canceled support for that game. That game should live on in the service. You killed it in a service. How does that happen? You made Gears of War, the Coalition, come out with Gears Pop. You let them waste their ass time on a fucking mobile game that you're just canceling. Who cancels a mobile game? Gears Pop. You just keep it out there because it's Gears. You made that son of a bitch announce that at E3, and you're getting rid of it. You announced Minecraft Go, the biggest franchise ever, on mobile. That's canceled. Your 2 mobile games are canceled. This is where I don't understand. With great power comes great responsibility. They bought Ninja. They bought Shroud. They own that power of having the biggest Twitch streamers on Mixer. But they never had the responsibility to grow it and to naturally make that worthwhile and use those people to help evolve Mixer. Instead, they're looking for the quick drop my pants. They weren't in the foreplay. Dudes, they don't care. They just want to buy it. And here comes Discord now. Hey, you know what? Nobody's using Live. Let's just buy who everybody's using. Well, guess what?
Exactly.
Look what happened to Skype. Look what happened to Mixer. You can't just buy your way. You got to curate. You need to grow this stuff. You need to show some. You cannot just randomly put shit together and just say we make games. There's no appreciation. There's no respect. And that's what grinds my gears a lot, is that I feel like they're disrespecting me as a gamer when they shove that shit down my face and they have Major Nelson sit in 20-minute episodes and talk about bullshit. Talk about Halo or Dave and Buster's. And then show me Craig with no hair. And now he's growing all this chest hair. He better look like the fucking Bee Gees. I swear. I keep saying it. He better come out and be like, you can tell by the way I move my walk. I'm a ladies' man. No time to talk. And mess you back. Woo! BG Chi. BG Craig. Woo! But they're just throwing shit against the wall. Look at Halo. Look at what they're saying about Halo. It's not an open world. You could go rescue Marines, side missions, but it's going to be a good story. Here comes Joseph Staten. It's like shit against the wall. Crackdown's the cloud. Oh, here comes Terry Crews. Why is Terry Crews in the game? I don't know. Put Terry Crews in the game. It just seems like it's being run by a bunch of drunken fools. And they have like a checkbook that's open. Let's just buy shit. Like, where Nintendo and Sony are just in the business of making great games and just delivering quality products. And some maybe not quality, but guess what? There's more quality than not quality. But it seems like it's a coherent thought. That's why when people make fun of Gordon Ramsay, Jim Ryan, the son of a bitch says he believes in generations. Well, just because a couple of games are cross-gen doesn't mean they don't believe in generations. Look at the UI. Look at the controller. Look at the mentality of what the PlayStation 5 is. It is a true next-gen machine that has a new experience with it. Whereas the Xbox was status quo. But what's interesting is that the dev comes out here and says Xbox changed a lot of shit. But PlayStation stuck to what works. But where did Sony make the changes? It made us feel like it's something new. Whereas it kept it simple for the developer to make the games where it mattered. Microsoft made us look like it's the same old bullshit, but they changed everything on the back end and gave a headaches to developers that still waiting for the goddamn tools. So you tell me which person cares about the consumer and the gamer when you look at those two inherent designs of next generation.
I feel like Game Pass is a dangerous thing because not a subscription model, but having the subscription model be your main focus on the platform, because it affects everything from it's affecting the decision making with the hardware. It affects sales of third-party games because people are not going to buy games because they're going to just wait and hope they come to Game Pass.
It's creating that. You're right.
So third party is going to be negatively affected. So people who are playing on the Xbox platform are going to say, well, I'm not going to buy a game when I could just wait until it comes to my subscription. So sales are going to plummet for these third party games. And I don't see a lot of, third party manufacturers wanting to consider to put games on the platform that people don't buy them. And wait until Microsoft just cuts them a check to put their game on Game Pass. Do they recoup their budget back for a game in Game Pass? So not saying Game Pass is a bad service, it just shouldn't be the main course. And Microsoft's trying to make Game Pass the main course. I like what Sony's doing with PS Now, where they do have a subscription model, but it is not at the forefront of what they're trying to do as a business. And because of that, I feel like Game Pass is also going to affect the type of titles we're going to get. We're going to get these unfinished games. We're going to get these smaller AA titles, which is nothing wrong with those games. But if these big budget AAA games are going to be few and very far between, because Microsoft has a lot of money. Okay.
Yeah, obviously.
But they have a lot of money, but it doesn't mean they want to spend it all and not make a profit. And what they're going to do is suck all these people into this service, and they're going to start raising the price, because that's what services do. The price increases because they want to make more profit. Because the model, the way it's set up now, there's no way this model is profitable. And offering all these $1 deals and all this stuff, they don't know. So it's designed to suck you in, make the service seem very valuable. And then once you have all these titles that you're renting from Microsoft, you got people buying DLC for games they don't even own, buying skins and buying all this stuff. So, and then people are talking about, oh, Game Pass should be on PlayStation. Okay. All right.
I know.
Game
Well, I think
Pass
that's where
being
it's
on-
going. Yeah.
You said what now?
I think that's where, like, and again, like I said, it's them becoming a ubiquitous platform. That's why, their quality is going to affect everybody because they're going to be putting their stuff with everything, right?
You know why xCloud got booted off of the Apple Store? It violated some of their
Apple's terms and services, yeah.
Right, when it comes to a remote
browser.
application, accessing a remote
store to buy stuff, because that's what they want you to do. They want you to buy from that,
it completely cuts Apple out of their 30% because you're buying DLC and skins and stuff through a remote application that they don't get a cut from. Do you really think PlayStation is going to put Game Pass, and it's going to have to be a cloud-based service, on their store and then let you buy all these microtransactions and DLC and they don't get a cut? It's not happening. So Game Pass is. I do not believe Game Pass is coming to PlayStation. I don't believe PlayStation.
You really don't think so?
Allow Game Pass.
I don't know. I think they would do something.
It doesn't make sense.
Not right now.
It will never make any sense. It would never make any sense for PlayStation to allow Game Pass on their platform when they're not getting a cut. It's not going to happen.
I totally agree. I think it will, but what about if they make a Game Pass Lite or a Game Pass that just has like their exclusive games? Like that's why they have so many studios, right? Think about 4 years from now.
Let me tell you something.
You don't
Game
think so?
Pass is not going to be on PlayStation. It's not going to be on PlayStation. It's a dream that these Xbox have. It's not happening. I'm telling you, it's not happening. PlayStation is not going to put a competing service on their platform where you can buy microtransactions and DLC through the cloud where the game is running actually on an Xbox, and they're not getting a cut. I'm not saying that. It's just not happening. It's not going to happen.
All right. Well, I'm glad you think that way because at least somebody. Because I think I agree. See, the thing is, I agree with you because you're right. Why would Sony let a service come in that could buy that people could play games that they could buy on the PlayStation Network and Sony gets a cut of that?
Exactly. It makes no sense.
But if Microsoft fills that thing with exclusives to Game Pass, now Game Pass has unique games that are not on Sony's platform because they're exclusive to the service. Now Game Pass becomes more marketable. Maybe that's when Sony and Nintendo are willing to do it.
To an Xbox owner or a PC owner, but not to a PlayStation customer.
Well, if they keep those Bethesda games exclusive in the future,
build their service. Sony's not in the business of helping Microsoft build a competing service. It makes no business sense whatsoever.
You're right, because they do have PlayStation now. So but I know Microsoft wants to get on there. I just don't know. I can see that.
Let me tell you something.
I think go to the Switch first, though. I think it'll go to the Switch before PlayStation. That's what I think.
It might go to Switch, but it ain't. And I don't see Nintendo do it. They're in bed with Microsoft in a way, but they're really getting and not giving much to Microsoft. They're not giving their IP to Microsoft. They're not doing. Listen, xCloud and Game Pass and all this stuff is going to be on PC and it's going to be on Xbox. It's not going to be on the Nintendo Switch. It's not going to be on the PlayStation. It makes no sense. It makes no real business.
You're right.
Sense
right now, it doesn't. Right now, it doesn't.
Nah, it's never going to make it never going to make any sense. There's no way you can convince me that it would ever make any sense for PlayStation to allow Game Pass on their platform.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, the only way that I see it is if that Microsoft has compelling exclusive content. And this is the example that I always leave. And I'm not trying here to convince you, but I'm just going to say, the thing is right now,
but you got to tell me how does it benefit Sony to do that?
This is how it does it, right? If Microsoft has a game in their service that everybody wants to play, and the only way to play it is through Game Pass. Think about this.
Nintendo has games that everybody wants to play, and
Nintendo gatekeeps it. Nintendo will never put their shit anywhere. They'll give you a little bit of Mario Head or some shit like that on a friggin'
Microsoft I'm pretty sure Microsoft would put Halo on a PlayStation platform if PlayStation would allow them to do it. They're not even going to allow them to put. They're not even allowing them to put their first-party games in their console. Why do you think that Sony is going to let them put Game Pass on their platform?
I'm going to say
You
the
don't
thing
think
is,
Halo's
what
a huge
about?
game that would sell?
Would you have thought that Epic, if Epic said we're gonna open up a PC store before Fortnite, we would laugh them out of the like. What
But
the
it
hell are you gonna
makes
put in there? What are they
But
gonna
you
put
gotta
in there?
think at the end of the day, it's still gotta make good business sense. And the Game Pass on PlayStation makes zero business
But
sense.
an
I
Epic
understand
store wouldn't
PlayStation-
make sense if it wasn't for Fortnite because they would have no traffic driver. They'll open up a store and be like, what, Unreal Tournament, old ass edition, 2004? Epic did not have anything to drive traffic. So what they did was they created a store with all that Fortnite clout that you had to go through Epic Store, and with that leverage, they were able to get all these exclusive things that you go through Epic. So the thing is that
But
if
it's
Microsoft
PC,
has
though. That's an open platform.
but what I'm saying is if Microsoft starts to have games that are taken off by storm and then they go market around Game Pass and they're like, hey, we'll put this on the app. But see, I do agree. Like,
That
I'm not
still don't
going
make
all
sense to
in.
me.
I'm not going all in with this, but I think the one way that Sony will allow it is when Microsoft stops making hardware. If they stop making an Xbox,
now,
then Sony will be like, okay.
Right, because they're competitors. Now,
Exactly. So that I know that's why I agree with you.
Hardware,
I totally see where you're coming from. I agree both sides. Myself
maybe
and you.
because then there's really nothing to lose there because you're not, But when you're talking about competing platform, making hardware, competing in the same space for the same dollars that you are, it makes no sense to put a competing platform service on your console. A service that you make a direct competitor for. It doesn't make any sense. Even if Sony just decided to drop PS Now, they just say, okay, this service is just not successful. It still doesn't make any sense for them to put Game Pass on their platform. Even if it makes them a little bit of money, you're still gonna. There's no way for you're talking because it's gonna be a cloud-based thing. It's not gonna be a direct hardware-based games where you just buy games and play them.
Well, did you hear that the future of xCloud is that Phil wants you to buy games on xCloud? Like, it's not just streaming Game Pass. Like, xCloud is meant to be like a cloud store where you could buy games in the cloud. He said that's the next evolution of that is that, hey, you're playing this game, but if you want to buy it, you could buy it without even owning a console, but you own it in the cloud. That's basically the future of it. You don't own it, exactly, because as soon as Microsoft says we're done with it,
the minute Stadia shuts down, where are all those games?
Oh, they're gone. That's why I say, like, with the NVIDIA one, like with the NVIDIA game streaming, you would get a Steam key. So, like, not only did you own, but you had to subscribe to access the game in the cloud, but they also gave you a Steam key so that you own the game as well in case you decide to cancel the $7 a month to access it in the cloud, but at least you had the game. But you paid $60 for it. Like, see, I don't see people paying $60 for some cloud license to do this stuff. Like, that's going to be a tall order. And I said this before on the other shows. Microsoft has a huge battle with themselves before they can start looking at their competition with trying to convince traditional console people and other people to subscribe to play their games or to get their games when they don't even own hardware that can play it natively. That is a whole battle that Microsoft, I don't know if in my experience, Microsoft as a company does not have the patience to win that battle and win people over. That's the thing. In my experience, Microsoft seems impatient. And we talk about what happens to the games that you own in the cloud. Think about it. What about all those people that built content and followers and had Sparks and became partnered with Mixer and went to Mixer things? They just left those people. They said, go to Facebook, bitches. And they left those people, and Microsoft has a habit of doing that with a lot of I always talk about it. $100 Groove music card, Xbox music card, that's useless right now. $100 in my drawer, and I stare at it going, you son of a bitch! I couldn't even use it on Spotify when you told me to go to Spotify. You just ended that shit, and they cut their losses. That's why this experiment with xCloud and Game Pass, it's in its infancy right now. And the money that they're spending right now, I wouldn't be surprised if they just write it off 5 years from now going, dude, It was a good. You gave it a good little try. But
Well,
we're just not in the gaming business of this
right.
anymore.
It's not gonna. I don't see xCloud ever taking off and being this service that billions of people are gonna use like they think it is
It launched 2 years
on a
ago.
phone. Because
Like, remember
honestly,
Stadia launched 2 years
I
ago?
I believe people who play games on a cell phone are different type of
Of course
gamers.
they
Not
are.
saying they aren't gamers. They play the Candy Crushes and the Panda Pop. They want to play those type of free to play type games, and console quality games just don't work very well on a hand on a phone. And so those gamers are different types of gamers. And yes, there are billions of gamers out there in the world, but they aren't looking for games like Gears of War and Halo. So unfortunately, I just don't think this streaming service. I think it'll be an option, but I don't ever think it's going to be the main way people consume games like Microsoft thinks it may be. And you know, I don't think they're going to give up on it like Stadia,
No,
like
they're
Google did with
putting an
Stadia
effort
because
in it. I agree. They're putting a
right
good effort.
and right, and I can tell with this $7.5 billion purchase of Bethesda that Microsoft's in it for the long haul as far
Yeah.
as building Game Pass into this great service. But I think Game Pass, in a way, people think it's a great deal because they're not having to spend much money. But what you don't realize is that the cost to develop these games has to come from somewhere. You know what I mean? Kind of like Jim Ryan said. I know we like to say he's a liar, but you know these games get the red carpet treatment on the PlayStation when they launch. They have big marketing budgets. They spend a lot of money developing these games, and we get these high quality game of the year type experiences on the PlayStation because they spend the money to do it. And a monthly subscription service is not going to generate enough revenue to give us the type of games, to give us the budgets that they need to make these type of games. It's just not
You're
going
right.
to happen.
Yeah.
So,
And that's the challenge. That's the problem I have with it.
People thinking that listen, Halo. I'm not on board with Halo being a free to play. Halo multiplayer being free to play. It's going to be microtransaction riddled. It's going to be a stripped down version of what people think they're going to actually be getting. And so, you know, chasing this free to play model, I don't know. I think, you know, I just think that chasing this free to play model with Halo is not. If that's the only way we're going to be able to get Halo Infinite multiplayer, I'm thinking this is going to be a bad decision because it's going to be a skeleton of a game that they can start to kind of add stuff to over time and piece it out. And because, you know, you got to make your money back on this microtransactions and stuff like that. And Microsoft said that they were going to allow free-to-play games to be able to play without gold. Still hasn't happened. You know what I mean? So they made this promise. Yeah. Hey, they didn't deliver on it. Where is the free-to-play games that we're supposed to?
I'm gonna drop a thing right now, probably, because we gotta start wrapping up this show. Wrap this up. But yeah. I think that Halo free-to-play, I wouldn't be surprised in another year or two that goes on the Sony. That goes on PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think like Apex Legend, I think like Fortnite, like Halo free to play on PC and on that. I'm not saying immediately, but I think eventually, that I could just see just the free to play part, maybe on a PlayStation platform or on a Switch.
Like, I can see that too.
You know,
it's possible, but I don't know.
I think you can never say never, man. Just like Sony putting games on PC,
that's more likely. That's more likely to happen than Game Pass going to PlayStation. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, right. See, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. Like, but with that, we are going to wrap this up. It only devolves into the Game Pass, the services, man. Even if you start talking about Booster, it always comes to Booster services. But hey, man. The thing is, we don't like the Series S as a stopgap. That thing has definitely got a lot of not nice feedback from the devs. They don't like it. They're not a huge fans of it. The fact that it exists and they have to develop for it, and they will target the lowest common denominator, which is that. And, you know, we have yet to see with next gen. But I do think, like what Link said and what Frog said, I think in the future, that S is going to have to get boosted up to Booster 2 because that thing is not going to be able to carry solely next-gen games, and Booster will have to be reboosted. We'll call, and then I got my name already. My next thing, when they have the S Series S2, it will be called the Rebooster. Anyway, so guys, what an amazing show. We had over 75 people watching live. Hit that like button. Let's get up to those likes before you leave this evening. We went on extra long. We had a lot of news. We had late breaking Discord thing that derailed the Grinds board, split it in half. But we're coming to a close, and I want to thank Link and thank Frogs for coming on to the show, the Grinds Table, and coming to the Gaming Grindhouse. I think it's episode 11 if I'm right. But guys, hit that subscribe button, guys and girls. If you're new here, let's do that 1,000. Phil's trying to hit 2 billion. I'm just trying to hit 1,000. I think I could probably beat Phil before he get his 2 billion, 3 billion gamers. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for their support. And Frogs, why don't you tell everybody where you're at? And
you guys can find me WYB Crew. We stream Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. My mic died, so I'm kind of talking through another device, so hopefully you guys can hear me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
WYB Crew. You can find me on YouTube, Frogs Dreams, or you can find WYB Crew on YouTube. I'm just excited to be already in this current generation.
Yeah,
I wish
right.
IGN and everybody else would stop saying next gen. We're in the current generation. That's why I don't like when you said that next gen. They did that whole next gen report or whatever. I'm like, that's stupid. We're in current generation. Stop calling it next gen.
Yeah, I know.
We're current generation. We're not in the next gen. The next gen would be the PS6. So we're in the current generation. So I know people gotta get used to it. Saying current.
I know.
We're
in
the current generation and last gen.
Yeah, and I'm
But
definitely.
yeah,
I wanted to do a thing on VR, so we'll definitely talk about the VR. Next time, I'll make that I'll quit the first topic for the next show. And Ravenflow, definitely shout out to Ravenflow. We'll get you on here. We'll just wrap it up. And I was like, oh my god, these guys are getting late. So we'll definitely have that conversation. This conversation never ends, Ravenflow. It keeps going on and on because Xbox is doing something very unique and a little disruptive to what we're doing, known for gaming. And it's a wild time in gaming. But all I say is just keep bringing great games, and you guys could do whatever the hell you want, but just keep getting great games. And that's where my grinds comes in for Microsoft. It's like they're doing some great stuff, great potential, that's shifting, they're pivoting, but we're still waiting to see if that potential is worth the wait. And that's where they're faltering for me. So Link, where can they find you?
Absolutely nowhere.
He's everywhere and nowhere.
Yeah. Thanks for giving me the
He's in
opportunity
the cloud.
to hop on this podcast.
He's just an AI.
Stuff like that.
Right, Link?
I don't have a YouTube channel.
Oh,
I
he's
do
off the
not
grid.
tweet on Twitter. I'm on Twitter. I follow some people. I check it out. I'm not really interested in sharing my opinions on Twitter. I don't have a YouTube channel. Give me the opportunity to hop on here and give my opinions. I really appreciate it.
No problem,
It was a great show. And hopefully I'll be able to hop on in the future.
No problem, man. Thank you. Yeah, 'cause I know last week I think you didn't. You came on last week, right? For a little bit though.
I came on a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of people. Everybody jumped on. It was crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people on. I was like, let me just fall back.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you for coming on. And yeah, Link is off the grid. He's basically off the grid. He's everywhere and nowhere. He's in the cloud. So he just comes in and we tap into him. He's an AI. But anyway, but thank you again for coming on. Yeah, shout out to all the grinders in the chat. Hit that like button your way out. Good night, and thank you again for all your support. Stay tuned to the Gaming Grindhouse. Also, check out my previous videos for the demonstration of PlayStation Now, Grinds My Gears, and also stay tuned for some streaming and some more Grinds Table, and Grinds My Gears. Everything's grinding me. Let's go. Thank you again, everybody. Good night.